Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures in positive territory this morning, but only just coming off second back-to-back. Big positive day yesterday that followed Monday's steep decline. Overall, the Dow now positive on the week and sitting just less than 1% from all-time highs. Markets still watching the 10-year Treasury back to 129 this morning. That was quite the rebound as well in the 10-year from 1.17 that we saw earlier in the week. Second quarter earnings reports continuing to roll in. We got AT&T aftermarket yesterday. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Texas Instruments reporting to the downside. The report not bad, but their forecast a little bit on the conservative side. However, more focus on what's coming up tonight after the bell. Twitter, Snapchat, and Intel all set to report aftermarket tonight, so we'll touch on those. The S&P 500 now reporting, or about 15%, I should say, of the S&P now reporting 88% currently better than expected earnings. Clover Health back on the move this morning. We'll talk about that. ChemBio still very active again in the pre-market. More negativity for DD Holdings as well. It's Thursday, July 22nd, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. There we go. Look at how things stand. As I mentioned, positive, but only just for U.S. markets at this point. The S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ basically flat. TSX futures here in Toronto, same story, up 0.1 at this point. A little bit of a bounce back you can see for crude oil today. Back in positive territory anyways. It's been quite the rout over the past week or so for oil markets. Cryptos, yeah, a little changed as well, coming off a little more negativity for those as well. Good morning, guys. It is Thursday. It is going to be an interesting one. We're getting into some exciting earnings reports coming up after market, as I mentioned tonight. Snap, Intel, and Twitter set to report tonight. So it should be good times ahead for earnings.
Yeah, well, it definitely should be good times ahead. Actually, thank you, Brendan, because when you mentioned DD there, I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't pay for shorts in DD because they're going to be under pressure. Look, yet again, and we'll talk about this one, but it feels like it's a mover Thursday. I don't know, it's not mover, it's Thursday, not Monday. Mover Monday would sound good, but new entrants into the, I don't know why I'm looking at DD here. The stock to look at is IGC right now. New entrants into the 100% club, which is a thing, I guess, in the last little bit. 150% to the upside. I mean, you have Neuro, which made its crazy moves, and I don't know, there's probably too many of these to name. PRF, whatever, what that, sorry?
No, it's okay, don't worry.
Oh, okay, dirty dark pool print. Yeah, ridiculous dark pool prints going off at $1.50. These are overnight prices that you're seeing print the tape, guys. This is not the stock rolling over $2. If it was, might be screaming or something like that. Like, we'd be going crazy. So IGC, you've got your PRFX, your semis, your Neuros, your whatever you want to call them. This is the game. This has been the thing the last few weeks. Last couple of days. Interesting thing with IGC, this is the kind of stock that it's so liquid that it might not have a bunch of halts, so scalpers dream as well. And we're going to be talking to, I think we got Luis today, so it would be interesting to get his thoughts on it. But wowzers, there's a lot to look at this morning, from earnings to these gapper plays. And I'm only going to say AMC because I probably won't say it for the rest of the day. That thing was flat last time I checked. That's the first time in a while. Zero movement it had.
Yeah, AMC's not on my watches. Welcome, guys, to yet another big show here with Trader TV Live. Hopefully we can keep that lucky rabbit tail or rabbit foot around us because it's been a good one. We're already long IGC here at 60. We took it out at 80. So that's going to be a good trade there. And we'll see what happens moving forward. Not only am I going to be trading IGC, but you have Mr. Softy today at all-time highs right now, 284.50. Previous all-time high, 284.10. Oh God, now my chart's frozen. 284.10 on Microsoft. So once that loads up, you'll see right back there on the Citigroup upgrading. Congratulations to NVIDIA as well, as they've survived the split and now just been, it's not going to be good on this chart. Hold on a second. A couple negative days like we talked about there heading into the split, and then yesterday not great, down to 182 the day before, and then yesterday nice little bounce back here. So we're approaching some nice little levels for NVIDIA. So this is the now adjusted chart for NVIDIA. So new all-time high for NVIDIA would be now, considering the price, just in case you guys are wondering. 210, 208, 209, something like that is going to be all-time highs for NVIDIA. So we'll look at NVIDIA, and we'll also look at AMD today. All these names starting to rock and roll heading into earnings. I think it's going to be a big tech earning situation this time around. IBM kicked it off. Netflix was pretty good yesterday. I mean, they never really do too much, so we'll see what's happening with a lot of these names. But AMD, Microsoft, NVIDIA, DD. Regardless, man, the watch list is out, and so is the sticky note, and it includes CCL and AAL and Clover and DD. So, guys, check it out. I'll put it in the chat one more time, but at Trader TV, Sean.
A little bit of negativity there on the overall market, guys. We got the weekly jobless claims number out there at 8:30, 419,000 versus 350,000 expected. So, an uptick for the weekly jobless claims number there. So, back to exactly flat right now on the S&P. Before we go any further, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss V.
Hi guys, thank you for joining us today. I wish you a wonderful trading day. Please enjoy the show and make sure you like this video. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Yeah, let's get it started, guys. Lots to get through here in the next hour or so. Yeah, futures continuing to head to the downside. We've been talking about these an uptick in COVID cases globally over the past couple of days. The weekly jobless claims number getting a little bit of an uptick. Is that correlated? That's up to anyone to decide. But here we go, guys, back to negative territory on the overall market on that.
It's not a huge, look, it's not a huge rollover. Oops, that's going to be the AL chart. It's not a huge rollover, but you look at the NASDAQ and basically where we're holding for a bit of a fall on Friday's action you want to see here. And there's a potential like rollover. Look, we keep getting close to these highs, and it's a strong move back to the upside, and you get these little minor pullbacks. And look, I'm not Arun, but I'm curious of what he'll say specifically about the ES. But you sort of look at this 148 like 25 like shelf, like if that were to get taken out, we just basically the ES just got flat right now, and you're starting to roll over a bit. I mean, I love this. I love what this last couple of days has shown us in the market after that one down day. You basically have shown that, dips aren't what they used to be, and you sort of have to throw out. And it's interesting because the longer that you trade, you're so much more accustomed to you get a capitulation that started happening, and you think it's going to be like a 2 or 3 day event. And then it just turns around right away. So you have to be way more aggressive buying dips if you're looking to catch some things in this particular market. That's one thing I'm starting to find. If we roll over today, maybe you get a 1 or 2 day type event again, but I'm watching that 14.82 level on the NASDAQ just in case we get a pullback, because we've got some interesting names coming at the close. Next week, you get some of the bigger earnings. I think Microsoft is next week early, I think, so that'll be a big one as well. But I'm telling you guys, these dips are very, very short-lived. It doesn't mean they can't happen, but they're just really short-lived in this market.
Shout out to Shakib, the hydrated one, who is shadow boxing right now on a mountain as he listens and watches us. So way to keep it real. That's pretty good. That's pretty crazy.
That's intense.
Okay, so NASDAQ rollover, I give it a big thumbs down. There ain't no rollover happening here. Look, how far do we have to go to roll over? If this is the triple Qs, right? So this is my only concern really is that, we are now further away, from the 50-period moving average than we've been in forever, basically. We got a big move upside here, and then that caused, whatever. That was, bringing it all the way back to the downside. So I think if earnings obviously aren't what everybody expects them to be, then you'll get hit. But why is Citigroup upgrading Microsoft and NVIDIA and things like that today into their earnings? So I don't know. That just seems a little bit questionable why they'd even be doing that. So either they want to load up a short position, that could be possible, or at all-time highs, or they know that these are going to be monster earnings. And I'm gonna go with the latter there. I think the Qs are a buy right here, even at all-time highs. 365.69 here. We'll probably break that if not today, then on some of these earnings reports. Facebook's a monster. Google's a monster. I mean, look, Google just keeps on ripping up. Apple right now, I mean, I don't know what the daily chart's going to look like on Apple actually here, so this is a risk for us. 145.91. I mean, what is the all-time high for Apple anyways? AAPL. 150 on the nose. Oh yeah, see, we can't show that chart. 150 on the nose for Apple was just made like 6 days ago on that high. So yeah, sure. You know, it could roll over, but I'm going to say a big no on that one. I just, you know, be very, very careful though. I don't know if you want to get new money in, but if you're not in right now, I think it's, you know, this would be new money. I think it's worth testing it at these highs and then seeing what some of these earnings reports come through. You have big ones tonight with Snapchat and Intel. Intel should, I mean, imagine if Intel beats. Like, could you imagine what AMD and NVIDIA are going to do? So I think you got some bellwethers coming. We'll see what happens. Snapchat, nah. I mean, I like Snapchat. I think that Snapchat goes up. And the reason why Snapchat's going to continue to go up, and we'll look at Snap right here quickly, in my opinion, is because no one can buy TikTok, right? So you can't buy TikTok, obviously. So people have to flock over and possibly get their money into something that's similar to TikTok to some extent, I guess, Snapchat. I don't have a TikTok or a Snapchat account, but I think that, you know, the interest in TikTok, that stuff kind of flips back and forth. So let's see if Snapchat can hold this 50-period moving average. If not, guys, I mean, that could signal some problems for Twitter and things like that if some of these social media names come down. So we'll wait to see if it can break through 58 here tonight on Snapchat. It would actually, this is going to sound crazy, but it wouldn't even surprise me if Snapchat has like a 15 or 20% move tomorrow either. So we could go back to all-time highs on Snap. So let's just wait to see. I mean, I think it's a little crazy right now to worry about the NASDAQ, but hey, there's nothing wrong with getting money out at all-time highs. It's just where you're going to get it back in.
Yeah, Snap going to be interesting. Coming up tonight, Twitter, the other one we mentioned as well, the other big name for tonight. Ceres Therapeutics, guys, one just popping up here on Scanner, which is MCRB. Biotech company. This was down big time after an ulcerative colitis treatment study failed to meet end goals or end results, but this actually just popped up to the upside. So we just went from 9.5 all the way back to 11, but still down significantly on that report. Let's talk about some of these airlines. If you're watching American Airlines currently, just be aware the earnings call is currently underway. I'll let you know if anything pops up on that. Both American and Southwest out this morning with earnings. I mean, they were both kind of in line with expectations to better than expected on the actual financials, but they were both very, very positive on the forecast side of things as travel returns, guys.
Yeah, and look, they both kind of get dinged here a little bit. It's down 2% LUV, Southwest here, guys. And look, here's my, come on, daily chart. There we go. I mean, you already had that bit of a rally when we broke that 50 level. So I'd love to see if we can hold 50 on any kind of a dip. We're not really all that close to it particularly. And the level I wrote for LUV, and keep in mind, like Mark's made some fantastic calls. He's convinced me that, you know, he's to get in at some point on some of these airlines. And I want to see. And with everything that he's preaching, I should say this because we're in earnings season, is sometimes you wait for the dust to settle a couple of days. So you don't have to jump in just because it's something that reported pretty solidly that you think went to the downside. You don't have to step in on that first day. I mean, an example of that could have also been Netflix yesterday as well. So you didn't have to step in right away. Like maybe it's going to give you 500 if you want to wait for that, and maybe you're going to get a chance at 50 or down around this 48 on Southwest. I do want to see if we can hold this close here, this 51.5 is a level I wrote down there, kind of thinking, okay, if it snaps down, what can we get? We actually just bounced off of it once, so at the open, I want to see if Southwest has a chance to hold that 51.50. Below there, from a pure momentum standpoint, like you do have a lot of room to get down to 50 even, so it's hard to ignore that it could be a short off that open. But first things first, I kind of want to be seeing if I can't buy that dip there on Southwest. Got to hold that 51.50. Volume pretty light on this name for most day traders. I mean, Sean's in AAL. He's probably the one that I think in the airlines is going to have a little bit more liquidity. I just happen to like this level on Southwest.
American Airlines posted quarterly profit, so that's a good name to trade today. Obviously, AAL done 1.5 million. Net income 19 million or 3 cents per share in the quarter end of June, so that's a good one. They lost $2 billion right? 2 billion last time around. This time profit 19 million. It's not much, but it is what it is. So we'll see where that goes now. But this is why we like AAL here. Look, a big monster move off the bottom. I mean, that, some of that move that happened early on in the week was just ridiculous. Big time. There goes Neuro. So we're long now 28 on Neuro as we take out 28 on the top here. So let's see where Neuro wants to go today. Hopefully nothing but upside. I'm not going to scalp this one out too quick. Although right now 40 cents in the money. Maybe I should. 50 cents in the money now. $1 in the money now on Neuro here, guys. I hope you have this one, Neil. This one's just ripping to the high side right now. Neuro through. We can take a piece out here if we can get it. Bang, a quick little $1.30 right there on Neuro as we analyze AAL. Now Neuro going to $30. We're long at $28.
Hold the rest.
Right now. 30. Here it goes. Neuro, $31 right now. This is $3 in the money. We just took this trade, guys. So Neuro now blasting to the upside here. 31. You know what? Hey, man, screw that. I take that. Bang, let's put that in the pocket and let's go now. We can hold this. Man, that's a monster. Let's keep on going. There goes Neuro. Congratulations to anybody that has that one. How easy was that? Let's go with Neuro.
I apologize. We should have definitely covered this because the break level, I don't want to show you the afternoon prices here. At 30, there's a reason to cover some at 30. You're going to see right there. The halt prices that matter, 31.50, and then this one comes in like 33.30 yesterday. The top is about 39. And I'm fairly certain that was the poll, Miss V, was whether Neuro would actually, I don't know if it was close, I think it was get to yesterday's high. So at 39 level. This one, look, Neuro is probably going to halt a couple times in today's action, especially if it gets going here today. And a lot of other names are likely to halt as well. The stops were fantastic today. There was a lot of liquidity. I'm a little bit surprised by that field to get 28. If it does stall at like 33.30, that wouldn't surprise me too much. But Neuro certainly making another run here. But let's keep in mind, when this stopped, it was a ridiculous reversal. So you have to have some idea what it will look like after the open when it comes to the downside. We covered that a lot at that top. And if the same thing happens, you want to be prepared for it.
$4 in the money now. And again, guys, congratulations. Oops, Brittany. We did it again. So here we go. Neuro just ripping upside, man. This is like, I don't know. I don't really have any words. We're just still going to hold this, and then hopefully today, man, we can make that money. Yesterday we made a lot of money on it, but you guys know. I mean, does it show my trades yesterday? No, it doesn't. So we were long here at $12.50 yesterday, guys. So it's $31. So congratulations if you've been able to hold that one. But let's go back to what I do the best. Trading and looking at some of this stuff here. So 21.50. So this is the thing about AAL. So we just ran over the numbers. I'm short right now this name, but I put it on the sticky note. First of all, if you have the sticky note, hopefully you can watch that on Twitter. You can find that, and I think I should put it up on Instagram maybe every once in a while. But okay, so 21.60 there at the high side. This is the thing about this. So what I was talking about before we just destroyed Neuro was that this going to the upside right here, this was a ridiculous move down, 18.30, but that just shows me that it does have legs to get to the downside. Obviously not even one red candle here 2 days ago on the 20-minute. Yesterday we did have that bounce down to 21, rejected it, then came up to this 21.50. So on earnings, remember what I said, guys, is that we don't necessarily want to be in a name on earnings too much. So we're pretty light right now into AAL. I can't believe we're still looking at this Neuro 450. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But there's the one-day chart. We just went over that. But here we go. I took the short through 21. It's small. I'm going to average in. But really, if it breaks 21.50 to the high side, then we're going to roll with that. Neuro, wow. Let's go, man. This one just continues to go. I'm going to try to hold this one all the way. I may just hold this back to $24, $25. I'm excited about Neuro, guys.
A couple things on Neuro, guys. They reported earnings as well. So that was an earnings name much better than expected. They posted 63% rise in quarterly results. Also, the conference call, Q2 earnings call currently underway. It started at 8 o'clock, so we'll wait to see if there was possibly some positivity from that, but just a heads up on Neuro. There is separate news for Neuro today. Let's talk about Churchill Capital here real quick, because we had that huge flush midday yesterday. This was 12:30. This was 12:30 yesterday in the afternoon, as some rumors floated around about the vote that is currently going on in regards to the business combination, guys. You remember with Lucid Motors. So they came out this morning and said polls remain open for the shareholder vote for the merger with Lucid, guys. So CCIV back to the downside.
Yeah, like a lot of people were asking in the chat about this one earlier, saying, "Hey, is it going to be a good place to buy with the vote coming in?" And I just never really had too much success on vote day for some of these SPAC names, and I'm not sure it's going to be any different here. I mean, just from a pure wipeout bottom technical level, I mean, I guess if you get a shot at something like that 2265 low that it put in, maybe that would be somewhat interesting to me. I mean, I'm going to have an eye on that, I guess, because we almost have to. Look, Nero's going to be a fantastic one, but all that excitement, yeah, it comes at a cost, and it is what it is. It's not to dwell on anything, but I just saw. I mean, I don't know why I didn't have my stop order. I just paid for shorts in time on DD, and DD broke that low of the day, so I'm going to throw that level out the window. It also broke yesterday's low, 1105, so I'll throw that level out the window because it's also already been breached. It just opened back up. I'm trying to quickly cover this. DD has been. Remember, 11 break was a good one. We had that 11 break. It got to 1070, well, 1068 or so. I still think there's a chance that you could retest that. DD, of course, can't seem to avoid the negative news. They're getting a further crackdown as well. So there's a lot moving right now. I mean, DD just broke those lows that we just talked about. You're seeing Churchill struggle, and Neuro's now at like $32. So, well, still at $32, I should say. So a heck of a lot happening here. And IGC's going to cross 50 million before we even open the market.
Oh man, just get a little stretch here. What a great morning already, and it's 8:51. 8:51. Okay, guys. Okay, so we also have DD on here as well. I'm waiting for an 11 break straight, so that'll be good. We'll wait to see what happens right here. 10, 11, 12. That's a good one. What? 2 notifications to clip it. Okay. I don't know. I guess my Instagram is going crazy right now or something. Okay, so DD right now just breaking through 11 right now, so we will get this short. Let's check out quickly on the imbalance locator right now and see what's happening on that, because when I looked earlier, there was really nothing, and it continues to be the case. SOS is on there. Ooh, my Fisker's on there. I'm not in this name, but this is the one name back down at $10 that I said, you know, out of all of the names, this is probably the one that we liked, and now you can see where Fisker is now. All the way up to 21, and I got this out right here. Like when I went long, I was long in all of this, was able to get out, got out around here again, loaded some back up, and then did get out around this $15 mark. So I missed a lot of this move, but I don't want to reload any. I mean, I've talked about this. I don't want to reload any of these guys at all. I didn't want to reload anything until we get back down to 10, 11. We could check out our friend Nicola here as well. This is the name that I'm in, and thank God I'm in it lightly, but I was in this one early, and it just has been a complete disaster, Nicola. You know, depending on like how do you survive this stock is what I want to know. You know, this was during all that meme craze, and when they first came out, they got that big. Actually, this is the deal with GM and things like that. This might even be after the deal with GM. You got to wait for these pops, and if you don't get out on these pops, then you're screwed, because we literally. I mean, this is a daily chart. So this is from February 5th all the way here to April 22nd, and basically there's one little recovery right there over 1 or 2, 3, 4 days. You get a couple day pop there, but other than that, man, it's been a disaster for Nicola, and then now you get this move back to the downside. So I'm thinking maybe we can recommend some of this because you're near this bottom, but if you can come to 12 or 13, then that would be a trade for me here, but right now Nicola not doing much. AAL, IGC, and Nero is what I'm in.
All right, guys, let's get some analyst moves for you this morning. A couple of notable names on here. Airbnb, we haven't talked about that for quite some time. BTIG, talking about the reopen type of idea. Chevron getting an upgrade today. Yep, there's NVIDIA at the bottom. Las Vegas Sands reported price target cut from Morgan Stanley. It's worth mentioning there was multiple analyst moves, both directions on LVS. United on here to the downside as well.
Airbnb, why not? New position for me. I just got into that DD. I mean, I wanted 1105. It's just not gonna have that stop order in too early enough, so I'm gonna miss out on that trade. It's a good breakdown, but I mean the momentum is the play here. I want to see if we can't get down towards that 1070 all-time low, and we'll cover that in just a little bit. But lots is going to be moving here today. It's going to be a wild one. But one other one, just before we get too far ahead of ourselves, because I don't think I don't think Kewen made the watch list. I'm pretty sure Kewen didn't make the watch list. This is another runner that has been absolutely flushing all morning long. But it did, here's the thing, and this is why we try to point these out every single time so that you can look and find some of these levels for yourself. This spiked up and got to 550. This is 550 on a 15-minute chart. Notice support, notice the break, notice resistance, and then when it lulls yourself to sleep, like if you did this and you're only looking at that to the gap to the upside, you might miss. And if you're so long and looking at where to take some profit out, you kind of want to be paying attention to that. I'm looking for a fade now because it feels like if it gets back up towards this 475, maybe even like that 450, it might roll over again. But Kewen, just another one of these names. It's absolutely crazy this morning, doing volume and making these big moves. So I want to see if it can't get back in and roll over. A lot weaker, obviously, than Neuro, which is breaking out.
All right, guys, into a position here. We're already into IGC, and guess what's happening with this one? It's cash money millionaire time one more time. Look at IGC. Run, baby. It's trying to go one more time to the upside. So we have 4 positions on right now. We have that DD short, which is a big one right now. Hopefully that can cash in for us. I have a lot of shares, so hopefully this can go. We'll see where we can get it out. Low 90s would be nice here on DD if we can. The day chart, just basically that's going to be today, right? Just 20 seconds. So yesterday was up day. The day before that, 1070 is that bottom. So we'll look to see if DD can do that. But we're in a nice position here. Nice amount of shares on DD for sure. You guys can all get it. It's right at where it is. And then this runner right now, IGC, man. What a day this is so far. I feel like I say this every day, but hey, that's why I'm here. 20 years trading. We're trying to show you the way, how we like to make moves on these markets. And honestly, this kind of pre-market trading in these crazy stocks is a skill that I just learned. Like I just did this in the last couple of years when we started to do the show, because normally I wouldn't be in on all of this action. I would wait for the market to open. I mean, you quite frankly, you see how I trade the big caps and all that kind of stuff. We have 13 negative days this year. Look at DD here coming to the downside right now. So there's that fill at 93. Again, I have too many shares here not to start to take some off. So let's go to the downside now with DD, and we'll see what we can do. But so far so good here today, man. DD, IGC, Neuro, and AAL. Let's just keep this party going as there goes DD one more time. So we'll spit the money out. Bitcoin's moving. Ethereum back to $2,000. Your boy is here. We've got lots of energy. Yesterday, Brendan and I and Greg hit up the golf course. So here, a quick picture for you guys. Here we go. This is that's the back. Here we go. Everyone loving the hat on Brendan there. So there it is. What's up to Gregory as well. Thanks for orchestrating that. We had a fantastic time, and it was just a fun time overall, Brendan. I hope you're not too sore, bud.
I am not at all. It's actually surprised about that. But yeah, beautiful night, beautiful evening. Great to get out, obviously. Always great to get out on the golf course. Let's get into the morning note, guys. We send it out every single morning. Before we come on at 8:30, absolutely free for you. All you have to do is register at that link, and you can view it all morning long. Absolutely free. If you need that again, Miss V will help you out in the chat. We talked about some of the airlines already. AAL, love the 2 that reported this morning. So travel stocks on watch. We'll just see how that plays out as we head to the open. Let's talk about some of these crazy stocks that we were looking at yesterday. ChemBio, CEMI, back on watch again this morning. Clover Health popped back up to the top of a lot of social media websites' interest lists yesterday. So we'll have a look at Clover. There's also that SOS, crypto related, but also getting some mentions on multiple social media platforms yesterday, guys. So take your pick here. There's so many to look at today.
Yeah, I mean, look, the thing with Clover is it was almost like a distraction yesterday from the bigger runners. I tend to think that Semi, that's another one that was looking really, really weak all morning long, and then it bottomed out in the aftermarket lows here at about $5. It's trying to get off its schneid back into VWAP at 540. Look, I just go back to, our trades were showing up yesterday. If you guys were watching the afternoon show, okay, we shorted this pop in Semi. This was right about that 550 area, so I'm kind of eyeballing that same price. If it breaks back through here, I hate to say it, look, it'd be negative to positive because it was a 534 close, so it turns net positive on the day, breaks back above that afternoon sort of resistance level, and then I think it could be all systems go. But for now, it's looking rather weak. I have no reversal long ideas for that PRFX, which just basically like defecated all over itself when retail came in at 7 o'clock. But at least SEMI has a chance here. CME has a chance to break this 550 level after it's made a bottom right at those pre-market lows. I'm not all that interested in Clover per se, and all I will say about SOS is you'll get outsized moves when you get a bit of a bounce in Bitcoin. It's a heavily shorted name. It's heavily algo traded, by the way, this stock. So it is actually a bit of a tricky day trade. But unless there's a huge move happening in spot, I'm not all that interested in SOS. I'm usually looking for places to go short, and there's strength in crypto. So I'm going to stay away from SOS today. But that CME, that's interesting to me if you can get through 550.
I heard the word Clover and not interested, but I'm pretty interested in Clover today. Oh, hold on a second. CLO. I'm getting that clip out of Nero, by the way, of that Nero trade. So follow on Twitter. I'll send that out to you guys when it's ready to go. Look, so here I have it on the sticky note. You guys can follow at Trader TV Sean right now. If you want to see Brendan's hat more, you could follow that, me there as well. There goes DD. Hopefully that can go to the downside. Our best out there, 89s. Okay, Clover. Look, this is why I like it. Here, I'll call up a 20-minute chart. I just use the e-signal charts for that. Here it comes. So this is that $10 level. So I actually bought stock this day here when we tested the $10. So I'm actually long right about here, 9 and change on Clover. It was bad dip down, but we're coming right back to this level. And I just want to highlight to everybody that I remember trading this in the afternoon because we were back here on the afternoon show, and I was hoping that this would break through that 10, and we never did, okay? And I remember it should have, it didn't. And then if you go back down here too, this was support, now turning into resistance on the upside. So for me, I'm shorting Clover into this 10. Once 10 breaks, then I'm hella long because I do believe that, wow, this has just been, I mean, today's day is fantastic. This break spot right here at 10 bucks, I love that spot on Clover. Resistance, support, and then resisted it right there. And then you get this nice move back up. The only problem is you are a little bit extended away from some of these moving averages, but that doesn't really bother me too much. We know this name can move. What's up to Chamath? There goes IGC right now as well. So anyways, short Clover into 10, and then here goes another one, guys. This is just the kind of day, the kind of year, the kind of everything that we're having, and I just hope that we can get more followers. Please, guys, share the video, share everything. Give this link to somebody, somebody you care about. Send them this link ASAP. We are the realest real on the web, man. I mean, find another trading show that does this. I've already made 10 trades today. I'm in 4 positions. It just continues to get better. Hopefully we're somewhat entertaining. I'm obviously passionate about what we're doing here, and I just think that thank you to everybody that continues to watch this. I'm going to keep bringing the heat, keep bringing the energy, and I just want you to bring your friends.
I want to say, Stanislav, someone in our chat there, looking to go into Nero. Look, I understand the impulse. Everyone always wants to catch a top on this because this thing is gonna, at some point you do get those crazy falls. It's just a very dangerous thing to do. The only way you had this top was basically a halt reversal. It went into a halt state, and then the second it was 15 seconds until it opens back up, until it halts or it has to go down, and it broke to the downside. So that's the momentum break that you caused there. It was more about the halt than any particular price level. It doesn't mean that people aren't looking at it, and it's not a horrible thing to look at. I mean, if you're long and you want to take profit out, that actually makes sense to me. But just automatically rolling into a short, if this thing breaks out, halts once, then goes into 39, you could be staring 50 in the face. And the trick with this, and if you don't have a tight stop on your short, you could be out 25, 30%. You can get caught in multiple halts. It's just a dangerous game to be playing. I said yesterday I wouldn't touch the short with a 10-foot pole. I waited until it stopped halting to actually play this one in the afternoon when it was a little bit more reasonable. Until it shows that, I think there's very, very specific types of trades that you should do if you want to be short a name like Nero today. Just caution abound, guys. Caution.
All right, we are beyond 9 o'clock. Let's get Arun in here and get a check on the overall market, moving back to the downside ever so slightly here. I mean, Arun, let's call it 30 handles on the ES from all-time highs once again. Yesterday, pretty impressive after Tuesday's rally. What are you looking at today?
Yeah, when you get a move like yesterday, the key area that I was looking at yesterday was 43.50. If we were able to stay underneath potential shorts, if we got above there, we really can have a chance to take out this high. The high is around 85, 43.85 or so. Now, we're above 50. We went into the 60s in the pre-market, and here we are just underneath. We're kind of testing down a little bit. The movement we got yesterday to me, is kind of a problem because it went in such a way where it didn't create any levels that I can work with to get long. But at the same time, if there was a short, it's wide open to the downside for a sell-off. So the closest level I'm looking at is 43.20. If we can get somewhere close to there, and then it has to really set up. I'm looking for some decent back and forth action, some buy side volume to kind of stabilize the move if we get down into the 30s, and then maybe a long off of that level. But if we continue going, I think you do have to play this market in a different way. There's no levels available for you to work with. So all you have to do is you have to let the market play itself out and create levels. It's going to be discovery from the market, figuring out what prices, what levels, what areas, where people want to trade. Let the market figure itself out and then determine how you want to play. But for now, I am hands off unless we get down into the 30s, at which point maybe I'll take a look at some longs. There are extra conditions that need to be met for me to decide to go long, just because if we fall it would have to be another 20 points just to get in range for a long. I imagine the momentum of the move would be quite strong. So I'm going to attach an extra few conditions for me to get long if we get down to that price. But that's the only level I've got, only read I've got, and we are 20 points away. So that what the reality is, unless we get a sell-off, I'm not going to get to that point. If we continue on the upside, of course, it's just going to be discovery. Let it happen. Let it work itself out, and maybe a level will develop, and you can make a trade. But again, you don't have to trade every single day. We are in summertime. You don't have to force trades either. So just be smart about how you're trading certain markets at certain time periods, especially when it slows down.
Great stuff. Thanks, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning. Yeah, no reason why the market can't pause for a day after the volatility that we've seen so far this week. Let's go to DD Global. Bloomberg reporting that Chinese regulators are considering, quote unquote, unprecedented penalties for DD after this IPO on the NYSE, guys, for DIDI.
I mean, it's already.
It's hard to.
I'm just watching this Neuro here as we are up 7. Why did I just hit the bear? $7 right now in the money on NURO, and we just put a great clip up there if you guys can watch it. I just put it there on Twitter. You guys can watch that clip. Please share it, and this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about here, if you can share that. Yeah, I am spamming the chat there. Was that Constantine? Who was that there? Yeah, no, Constantine. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, no, I just want everyone to watch it. I want you guys to share it. I mean, we're trying to grow this channel. We do this show for free for you guys on YouTube, so I just want to try to get as many viewers as we possibly can. So if you could share that clip, I thought it was pretty cool. So, if you like that, I tried, like I say, try to bring the fun, energy, and excitement to this show every single day and what we do, right? I mean, this is part of it. But let's go over to DD Global quick time here. As I've already emptied out of a third of this position, I still think there's more to come. But at the same time, when that dipped down to that 1090, we did take some of that out. That's a third out right there. I don't want to sort of give up. I have not tons, but more shares on this than any of the other ones. So just because it's an $11 name and it's not one of these crazy meme stocks, I wish I had as many shares on Neuro as I do on DD, but we did empty out a third down there. I don't like any of that talk, but we did identify this 1070 bottom. I mean, if the PRC is going to lay down some more bombs on these guys, then who knows, man? I mean, they may. I'm honestly wondering if the NYSE or the SEC eventually. Neuro now $8 now in the money, and we'll look at that. Hopefully you guys are still long that name. There is some tops from yesterday to look out for on Neuro. But okay, so anyways, the point is that I don't know what's going to happen, but is there a possibility that the SEC maybe delists these guys, sends them down to the OTC markets? We could talk to Jeff Mendel about that. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that, so don't hold me to that. But again, all of these investigations cannot be a good thing into these guys. I wonder if China's doing this. And again, conspiracy theories abound, right? Like, are they doing it to get long, DD, because they do know that it's a decent business and there is a possibility here for ride sharing to go crazy in China? Why wouldn't it, right? Huge population, lots of opportunity, but at the same time, maybe they're for real and they sort of want to punish this company here for this listing. We do know Alibaba has a stake in them as well, so there's lots happening on both sides of the pond here. But there goes, so that's Neuro, but look at IGC as well, man, up to 420 there. That magical number that just won't stop. But look at this, 480 is the recent high on IGC. So let's rock and roll with this one, man. It's been a big monster open, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think DD's a short until it's wrong. There's like 2 days that I think you can honestly say to yourself that if you were biased to the short side, you couldn't have found yourself into some nice winners. And even on those days, if you were patient, you probably still won on trades. I mean, like big update, and you're going to have a 9:30 reversal type of play. You're also going to have a bit of a capitulation in the afternoon as well. So look, at the end of the day, we shorted the 11 break. I did like 11:05 just because of what it was in the last couple of sessions. But there is that. It's 1068. 1070, whatever you want to call it. That floor is in there. If it bounces off of that price, it wouldn't shock me too much because it's been at least a little bit stable the last couple of sessions. But I'll be only shorting this stock unless it's above like 1150, and that's just the way to play it for me. I'm at a neuro. I'm not playing it any different than I would yesterday. When I take a pre-market trade, I'm going to look for that. I'm going to look for an out before the market opens, because after the open, much like yesterday, if it's going to halt to the upside, I want to play the halt trade. And I want to have sort of like, I want to be flat. When I play that halt trade, I might be looking to catch something like before halt on an upside, or maybe a reopen style play there, guys. So as it gets towards that high, like I said, look for a place to take profit. It started to show some slowdown at 35. It has a high at 39. I'm kind of hoping, my hope here is that any break of the top happens at 9:30 and allows you to get like maybe an actionable up halt that we can take part in, because that was fantastic if you caught it yesterday. And that was not an impossible trade to have, by the way. You could have gotten that one on the bid before, like as it was about to halt, and then it was just about as free money as you can possibly get right at 9:30.
All right, let's move down to some of these chip makers. We'll talk about NVIDIA first, but I want to also mention Intel, guys, aftermarket tonight, as we said, for earnings. Crocs also on the list this morning. Big beat for Crocs. Nice look on the chart as well. $17 range pre-market for Crocs. Not a lot of volume, though, so heads up on that. But, yeah, big beat for Crocs. NVIDIA, though, we mentioned Citigroup with a price target increase. As we kind of get into what post-split trading looks like here for NVIDIA, guys.
Yeah, I put it on. I put it on the chat. I put it on my sticky note here today. I do want to take longs. Oh my God, I hope I didn't miss any of these longs now. Long 197. Okay, yeah, we're not there yet. Long 197 just off this break here, and then down into 192. I was wrong. I got out of these. I think it was what was it? 188. What's? Hold on a second. What was 744 divided by 4? Yeah, so 186-ish. Or was I 745? Doesn't matter. 186, 187. I got out of some NVIDIA thinking that the split would have been a problem for it. We were clearly wrong. I have to call up another chart system for this because our platform doesn't show the cost adjusted yet, or the split adjusted. So there we go. So we did dip down. We were right. I mean, we were right until we're wrong, and that was what happened. So NVIDIA split, and then it said, that's okay. We're not too worried about that. We still like our evaluation, et cetera, et cetera. And then it started ripping to the upside again. So I'm just going to get back into NVIDIA with my own cash. I'm still hella long NVIDIA and AMD, so I like both of them. But again, I'm going to wait to get back into NVIDIA. Either it takes out the high and I'll get back in there and give up that 10% that I lost on getting out. But I'm going to put my money to work. I just want to make sure that all the earnings are right here for NVIDIA and that things come clean for them. Not that the earnings today or tomorrow, but we're going to be coming into that sector soon. And I just want to see tonight starting with Intel, and we'll just see what happens with NVIDIA. But wow, what a big move upside. And I believe if I read the note properly one more time here, quickly write it. So I was going to say Citigroup. Citigroup was both Microsoft and NVIDIA today. So look, I said longs back into 192. Like that's just a pipe dream. If we can get anything near yesterday's close, we'll take it. But you see that bump up here. I don't even know what that was for there in the aftermarket, but bumps up to 194. So I think this is a decent long as well now that I look at this at 194-ish. So we'll put some low bids there, see if we can't get lucky and pick something up here on open. So we'll get some low bids in, even lower maybe might be good. I like NVIDIA and I like Softy both on Citigroup upgrade. So we'll see if we can have some diamond hands on some of these names like we do right now on IGC and on Neuro. But remember, diamond hands, don't like that terminology. Take profits whenever you see them, and if it fits your goal and your guidelines, then do it. So I'm going to wait for NVIDIA. I like the name. I like the space. I'm all over the semis.
And yesterday we did some like split adjust pricing ourselves to come up with a couple levels. One in play today, 196.40. It's about like 10 or 15 cents of pre-market highs above that. At 350, there was, I think it was a small buy imbalance that started to spike up on Nvidia. I mean, I don't recall it being anything gigantic, but I remember that's what it was. But I don't know. Does it mean there's going to be another move like that again today? We'll have to watch this at the close show because might have to watch out for something like that. So I'm going to look at, like, it would have been 196.40 if that was the pre-market highs, but I just go through the top here. It was a key level that I had in yesterday's action. 800 was a big level of resistance as well on Nvidia. So, watch out for that 200 level. It's certainly likely to come into play.
All right, let's go to India Global. Talk a little bit about IGC here, guys. Up big time, obviously. We've seen 170%. In fact, we're getting into some pretty high levels, though, for IGC. So they got a patent for a treatment that they're developing for Alzheimer's using THC. So there was a patent issued specifically surrounding that treatment that they're working on. But this is impressive so far, anyways.
Yeah. I mean, I just sat down and said enough was enough. I mean, I mean, all these breaks are just cash money. Like, if you're here earlier, you probably have this 250 break. You probably have this. I mean, this $3 break doesn't get any cleaner. I mean, this is the best. To me, this is go Nero, $7 again. This $3 right now in the money. In the money. This $3 break, we're $7 in the money on Nero. This $3 break was pretty obvious, man. It just banged its head against this a couple times, and then it just started to take off. I wish I was sitting here looking at that. I mean, I was sitting here, but I wasn't looking at it at that time. Up to $8 as I was making the sticky note for you guys. But you can see this upside right there, goes to 380. We took a little piece off. Now it's starting to fade. That's not now. It did fade back into that same level. And if I just bang, expand that a little bit, now you can see what we're doing on IGC. So it's a nice little level here. We're long 360 up to 420. And look, I mean, I just believe that there's a lot coming. Whether or not this, I mean, obviously this is going to be experimental, but THC, hemp, all this kind of stuff. I think that there's a lot of undiscovered uses for this. So we'll wait to see CBD, things like that. So good on IGC for stepping into some of this. Who knows where it's going to go? But remember, these guys get crazy valuations when it's like this because of the potential for a buyout, right? Like if that neuro gets that device, they already got that FDA special designation there for the fibromyalgia device. And, if all of a sudden that device is legit, they get all these approvals, this company gets bought out for like $150, okay? So, that's why these stocks go like this. That's why they get this kind of movement. And I mean, yeah, look, when you're in the developmental stages like IGC was, then you lay low and Neuro, right? And then all of a sudden you get that approval and then it's bang, bang, it goes to the upside. So let's see what happens with IGC here today. That was a big level. We don't want to ignore this 480. I think that's good. If we can get up to 460, 470 here, again, I think I'll probably take it out as we did leave some money on the table up there to 435. But I got to give a big shout out to Shakib again, but I don't have my water. I forgot it. So I'm de-miking and I'm going to go get the water. Take it over, Neil.
If you guys are looking at IGC, look at this dip. So when it made that 3 break, it stalled out at 380. Where did we get 380 from? It pulled back to 342. Where does 342 come from? And again, go right over to your daily chart. Yeah, okay, that's an open at 380. That's a close the previous day, the last time it spiked at 342. These numbers don't come out of, honestly, they don't come out of nowhere. So if you're looking for take profit, you're looking for places to buy the dip, obviously VWAP, I mean, it doesn't matter as much as that level, I think, but if this pulls back into a 340, that's kind of a fantastic hold if it's able to bounce there off of the open. Just a note here, I don't expect IGC would be a halt trade like Neuro, highly unlikely because it's an incredibly liquid stock. So liquidity is a big deal, and IGC certainly has plenty of it, whereas Neuro doesn't have much.
Let's talk about Uber here real quick, and then we'll get to Texas Instruments. There was a news headline there that came out regarding Uber Freight. So they're picking up this Transplace for $2.25 billion. Was just reading a little bit about Transplace. So this is on the shipping side of things, and I mean, it's essentially a platform for logistics and shipping and things like that. So Uber not really doing anything on that news, but picking up that Transplace for $2.25 billion. Let's talk about Texas Instruments. Interesting because it's down this morning. So TXN did actually post decent numbers, but it was the forecast once again talking about Q3 being a little bit lighter than expected on the sales side.
Yeah, like this isn't going to be much of a day trade here, but this is also more of a barcoding stock, Texas Instruments. The only thing I would say is if it somehow falls into like a 180 area, that looks pretty interesting. I don't think it gets there. I don't think it's going to be very sexy for us to be looking at Texas Instruments today. I mean, it actually wasn't that bad, the report. So, I mean, I know they had a conservative forecast. They're down 5% here. Maybe it doesn't bode the best for some of the rest of the earnings that we have to come through, but I wouldn't necessarily be panicking with this particular name, Texas Instruments, guys. I just think there could be a value if it dips any further. Outside of that, I mean, look, you know what's moving today. And the NASDAQ and the ES are both flat on the session. So, we're going to try to be trading what is actually moving. It doesn't mean Texas Instruments isn't a solid company or even worth the value if it drops any further. But as a day trade, there is nothing there, I don't think, unless something insane happens.
Oh, as we say that, we don't say the final. We don't want to get banned. Look at this. We are now $10 in the money, so dap it up, guys. Anybody with me on this Neuro trade, congratulations one more time as we emptied out 2/3 of this. First time for the quick, embarrassing $1.50. Then we take long 28, out 31s. So that's a $3 win. So we put that in our pocket, and now we sit here and just collect the cash as it's up. Well, I haven't collected anything yet because it's still going up. We'll wait to see. I don't want to get out like I did yesterday. We'll see if there's more halts coming. But this is a pretty sweet win, man, for us. The only thing I'm thinking about right now is maybe getting it out if we come back down below $34. But let's just see. Look, I'm here, so I don't know. I'm going to want to hold this. Yesterday, we took out the profits. We had a monster day yesterday, one of the best days of the month for me. It looks like we're starting off that day again here now. So I'm going to hold this and then just see where it goes from here, man. I mean, who knows? Once this opens up, it's going to be halt, and then your boy will be in it. So let's wait to see where we go from here. Everything rocking and rolling right now for us. IGC back 40 cents. DD back to 2 cents now in the money. I'm trying to get a reload on that one. How much time do we have? Wow, only 9 minutes now? Okay, let's get going. And AAL is a sleepwalker for me right now, not doing anything. So we'll have to wait on that. And then quick look here, SOS. $3, okay. We'll see if that does anything. I don't know why that's the top, but Ford is a sell today. So look, I want Ford to come down because I want to get money into that name ASAP. I mean, I'm already in it, but I want to buy it more. And then other than that, man, not much on here. We're going to watch Twitter tonight as it has earnings. So we'll see what happens today. Probably nothing heading into earnings day. But again, congratulations for Nero. And not only did we load up, we got our water, but we throwing down. And again, I got to give a big shout out to Kiwi Nation, not New Zealand. Well, I'll give a shout out to New Zealand. What's up, New Zealand? But I do love kiwis, and kiwis are mighty fine this time of year around these parts. Almost $10 now in the money on Nero. Congratulations.
Kiwis have actually been really good this year for some reason. Eyes, guys, we talked about this one. Second Sight Medical popped up late in the day yesterday. If you remember, look at the volume that came in. Into the close here. We ran all the way up to $5.10. It ended up closing actually just back below $5. But they got a European patent for one of the treatments that they are working on the visual side of things. It's holding below 5 right now. This pivot up here from the pre-market is about 520, which corresponds with that high from late in the day yesterday. So if we do get a pop back above 5, it starts to hold on 5. We probably get a break of that 520, but it heads up 5 to 520, and then above that, 550, even 575 is the top end of the range from the pre-market.
Gap pullback on eyes. You also have Summit Wireless. Well, WISA, we'll call it WISA. Yeah, Summit Wireless, guys. Another gap. It's on our watch list as well. They have plans to build a new store, Amazon, yada, yada, yada. What's really important about this is when we talk about these gappers that consolidate lower, but look how many times it's held this 485 level. I mean, if you count 7 o'clock, which I'm not going to, 1, 2, at least 3 times we've been able to hold this level, which kind of sets it up for like a bit of a 9:30-ish break. 7 minutes to go, so there's a little bit of time for this to maybe take out that 485 and then throw this idea out the window if it breaks 45. But if it holds, I'm looking at this, it's like a 517, so call it 520 break to the long side on WISA. I've seen this at least a few times, but this is like, the difference is when you see some of these smaller cap stocks and you have that chart which is like spikes and then garbage and spikes and garbage, or you have one which has a decent upward trend, sometimes you don't necessarily lean into the short as much. That's why I'm kind of looking for a chance to go long in WISA today. So I'm looking at that 520 break. Hopefully we'll get that right at the open. DD, we're still in it, by the way, guys. And the thing about DD,
Hell
and we
yeah.
didn't show you guys the level 2, but there is actually a tremendous, not a tremendous, but more liquidity on the bid than I'm used to seeing in the pre-market on DD. Like there's like 60, 70,000 shares at random levels, despite the fact that it's just they're getting crushed, right? So there's a reason why it's kind of creeping to the downside and maybe not falling as fast as people might expect. And that's because like every few cents, someone's just sticking like massive bids in there. They're getting taken out, but that's the only reason, and we're probably not sitting at 1075 already.
Oh man, I was just looking at CCL and then I just noticed that this is now $12 in the money. Neuro right now, go, 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 young Padawan, go. Neuro just, wow, $39. Like this is going to be an absolute monster. We're already at 2 times our daily goal here as we go, as I'm sure you guys are as well. And just thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us today as this just continues to be a beast of a trade. My DD out's going to be around this bottom. I'm at 86. It went to 87. So hopefully we can get that off the open now. But that's just some ideas. One thing we didn't talk about because we went right to AAL is the #1 stock on my watch list here today. Not my watch list, but the sticky note. It's just part of it there. So CCL, I really like this 2250 level. I just don't know what to do with it. So watch out for CCL here. I know, like, yeah, great advice, right? But I don't really have any advice. I was sort of hoping that the market may stabilize and then we could get long and then use this 2250 as a bottom. But I mean, I'm nervous all the time. You hear stuff about the variant, this and that, Delta, everything, vaccinations, people not wanting to take them, so on and so forth. So, I mean, I haven't heard that much of that like this morning, which is probably why we get a little bit of a bump back upside. But again, if those worries are going to come in, then I think CCL can retest something in the 20s here. So maybe not today in the 20s, but if you get a 2250 break, I could see us going to 22, for sure. And then looking at this 2175, 2150 area. So let's see what happens there. New trade alert. Oh, some of you guys want it? So here it comes. We're going to do this every time you guys want this.
Money.
I mean, this animation is not only people's ringtones, but we've got messages here. It's group notifications. It's yesterday we had someone's kid, I guess, won a card game, and then she goes, "I just won." So I mean, it's just this is getting taken out a little bit craziness, but that's good because hey, money is what makes this world go round, and especially in our business, that's what it does. So we just take a long here on NVIDIA. It does break that 197. That was a level that I triggered in on. So we'll see right now what happens with NVIDIA. I told you why I like this name. It's a nice little rebound here off of that split. We had some couple negative days coming on NVIDIA. Fortunately, I can't really show you our charts, but a nice move down here to 191. And then yesterday, a buy imbalance, as Neil noted, and then you get this up to 195. And then this morning, we've basically based out at 195. So I do have some lower bids here. I don't want to get caught here now that I'm already in this. So this is going to be a problem. Like I can't average in too much now because I'm already at the high spot. So we'll see what happens with NVIDIA, but we're long and we're strong. We've got IGC long, 30 cents in the money. And then the biggest and the baddest is going to haul right off the open, and that is NURO. So we're super excited about these trades, guys. Let's see where we go from here. And today, only 3 minutes to go. Miss V's in green and looking sharp. So we're ready to rock and roll as the NASDAQ only right now up that 0.08.
Yeah, and we actually might need that. We might need that lucky green today because, like I said, we're exactly flat. I came in thinking I was going to be shorting a CCL off the highs. That obviously is not going to be true anymore. If it does pop into like 23, 25, maybe that could be a little bit of something. I'm looking for NVIDIA to open up. I've never had much success putting my stops on that stock before, but it is at that target range that I want to be buying it at the open. And I'll open up to buying a dip as well. A lot moving here today. WISA, I want to break out on that one if it can. For those looking at that PRFX, it was been dead in the water all morning long. I said it rolled over at 7. It also rolled over at 7. It rolled over again. We were able to catch that trade. It's got a 450 bottom on it now, and it is set up. Like, oddly enough, even as weak as it's been all morning, it is set up that like 525 could be a bit of a break price. Although I think WISA, WISA is going to be a better play for that type of a break and not PRFX. I'd probably look to short that one some point after the open, but certainly WISA can be still a breakout for you guys there. I'm not looking at eyes too much, and Southwest I'll only buy on a crazy dip. If we get it, I want to be sitting around, looking around for that 51.50 right at the open for a bit of a dip buy. But it's going to be NVIDIA, it's going to be Neuro, which I think is going to halt, and I want in on that halt. And then, of course, WISA. And PRFX is a maybe.
All right, here you guys go. This is for you, Tyrone. There you go. This is his walking to the ring music. So shout out to all WWE fans. We told that story yesterday about my wedding. That was great. Now we're just going to wait for Nero to go. I mean, look, part of me right now being responsible, you know, of being in the money $12 on a $28 name. This is already a 40% return here. So, you know, part of me is thinking, hey, let's just get this out up here at 40.41. But hey, we're here to, you know, try something. So we'll see if we can throw some cash around here a little bit coming. So we'll see how high this wants to go. I don't really have too many targets on the outside, and I'm not even worried about it. Like even if this rolls, look, we've taken out the profit. It's a fun time. It's a great trade here. But even if we roll all the way back down, I mean, I'm going to feel no ways about it. I mean, even if I get out at 34 right now, have I given up $7 on the upside? Sure. But whatever. If I don't hold, then I don't get to have this fun, right? So let's wait to see what happens here on the
falling
open.
a bit here.
Yeah, right. Okay, 10 seconds here. DD coming to the downside. We just got filled nicely on DD. So let's go. 10 seconds, Miss V, ring that.
5, 4. That is green. Trust me, everybody uses a green shirt there. Good luck. 2 and 1. What is the first move going to be in Neuro? Wow, that was crazy. I just saw 36s, 38s going off. This stock is all over the bloody place. Okay, there we go. There's NVIDIA. Actually, waiting for the open to get into that one. I could have taken 196.60, which I liked before, but we'll get on it there. DD is moving to the downside, but here comes Neuro. It looks like if it's a halt down, I'm looking for the reopen after that halt. I don't know if I want to short the bottom on a move in this stock today. It's just not the way I was looking to play Neuro.
Oh, hell yeah, Didi. Let's go, man. Look at this. We're already going to do this already. We'll do it often today, hopefully, but I mean, there we go, man. We call this Didi to the downside. Big time trade. And by the way, here we go. Let's go. Mario Kart in the building right now. Up to 198 right here on NVIDIA. So this is a nice call for me here. We gave this to you guys early. Not only did we give it to you, it's right here. It's on the biggest and baddest sticky note that you will find. And let's just keep on rocking and rolling to the upside with NVDA here. NASDAQ be damned as it's ripping to the high side right now. NASDAQ alert, alert, alert. There goes NVIDIA, hopefully even higher than what we think. There goes Microsoft taking out all-time highs as well. Wow, what a day this has been, guys. Let's go.
DD is at that low, 160. It got to 160, guys, so that one's going to work out pretty well. WISA just broke out. I'm telling you right here, right now, I guarantee you Nero bounced off a halt band just there, I think, off of 36, and then slapped back up to 38. Now we're right back at that 35 level. So, I mean, that would have been... look, I think that's a trade we're going to try and work on because I think there's something to be seen about where it's looking like it's going to halt, and then some buyers just step in saying, no way, no how. WISA, which we think can be another one moving here, is going to be a nice little break on that 520. I didn't take anything out when it got to the 30 range. It's about a 10-cent move. I kind of thought we'd get up to 550 on that initial push.
It's DD time, baby. Not only is it DD time, it is softy time. Who's loving Microsoft right now with me? Let's put it out. Yesterday was National Hot Dog Day. Today is National Hot Dog Day. Every day is National Hot Dog Day because these hot dogs keep firing off every single day. Look at this. Bang. See ya, softy. This is $1 now in the money, almost. Yeah, $1 off that 284.50. We talked about that being the all-time highs. This is one of my largest holdings in my long-term portfolio, and it just keeps on ripping to the high side. We got way too greedy with NVIDIA. That went $1 plus in the money. We didn't take it, so we'll see where it's going to go from here. But NASDAQ keeps on going to the high side. Everything blasting off. What a great day. This has been a fantastic trade. Hopefully you guys made some trades with me as well. I could be done. We're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're 6 trades here. Everything in the money. Oh, yeah. And how do you like them apples, AAL? Spin it again. Money, 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 money.
So back over to the DD, guys. It just bounced off of 1060. It broke that low of the day. If it consolidates below the all-time low, this stock is going to be dead in the water. I've seen none of those buyers there before. Neuro was halting to the downside, guys. We said it was going to halt one way or the other. I actually thought it was a chance at the upside halt. If it does not halt here in 15, okay, whatever, it did halt. I was going to say, if it did not halt there within that 15-second period, it would have been a God mode long. That's what caused the reversal, was when it tried to halt to the upside, did not, and made a quick reverse. If it opens back up, the only thing I'm looking to catch a falling sword on would be that original 28 entry. There's a decent chance that 30 could be a good one, but I want it to open up with some weakness and then pop up. And if it halts to the upside, if it does a move where it halts upside in 1 minute, I want to go long off that reopen price, guys. And we'll do this one for NVIDIA. Split adjusted prices, you always want to make sure you put them in there, guys, because yesterday 196.40 showed up. If you had your 15-minute chart up, 196.40 was a good level. It ends up being a pre-market high as well. I don't put pre-market orders or stops on NVIDIA because I stink at them, but would have been a good trade. I don't get in till it opens at 9:30 as long as it was above that price. I still look at 800 as a significant level. That is now 200, so I will cover in front of it on this trade, and then look for a 200 style either breakout or dip buy in NVIDIA. Brendan?
I just saw Cleveland Cliffs popping up here, but not a huge reaction. But they reported, guys, in the pre-market here. Big volume spike, I guess, is what it was for CLF, worth a note. Also, BNTX on the move again, back to all-time highs. Cassava Sciences on the move again, back to all-time highs, guys, for SAVA.
Sick. I mean, what are we even talking about here today, guys? Like, I have 6 positions. Watch them. So AAL, bang, monster trade and out. Still in, but DD, monster trade there. That's 2 trades, right? How about IGC? Who with me on this one, guys? Hell yeah, with the backflip on IGC. Who with me on Softy right now? Okay, who's with us on Neuro right now as well? Big time, halted, big time trade on Neuro today. Like I said, wherever it goes, it goes. NVIDIA. Who's with us on NVIDIA right now as well? So back to back jacks right now. As we're going to go 6 for 6 to start the day. Okay, so that's what it is. As Shakib will look at JKS, everything rocking and rolling here today. We haven't even dipped into the fruit salad. We've got the water. Here comes Miss V with the refill on coffee. This has been a monster morning, guys. It's only 9:35, and honestly, like, we can stop trading. We're not going to. But right now, NVIDIA ripping to the high side. Microsoft ripping 75 cents in the money. NVIDIA $1 in the money. $5 in the money on Nero. 80 cents in the money on IGC. 27 cents in the money on DD. 30 cents in the money on AAL. This is what we're doing. I hope you enjoy the show. At Trader TV Sean, at Trader TV Neil, at Trader TV Brett, and let's go.
And there goes that WISA. So I made it we tell our winners and our losers and our mistakes. I made a keystroke error putting a stop in on WISA. By the time I got back to it, I was just blind luck that I was able to get back in at basically the same price. So I got back in at 25s. I originally had a 23 long. You're going to see it pop into that 550. That is this level right here. So I cover it. It makes a run at this high of the day. I think it'll probably pull back, but I want to be buying on WISA. We said that would be one for the long side. QN, or is it C? Sorry. Yeah, you're right. It's CUEN. This is another one. We're going to wait for that opening on Neuro. Cuban had a similar setup. I said no go on that one. It looked entirely too weak for me, but it's holding off of its bottoms. But watching out for that Neuro open. That's going to be the biggest one for me in terms of opportunity on those halts. Keep in mind, you should always be watching that halt page if you can. NASDAQ, trader.com, trade halts. You can definitely find that page. It's a good one. DD is consolidating right here. It has broken that 1068 all-time low, or previous all-time low, I should say, and is trying to get back to the upside. I'm going to fade this one off of 11 even. It's just too weak not to reload. Those big bids are basically gone. They were all in the pre-market. Someone was buying it up in the pre-market. They're clearly out of the money. Maybe they know something we don't. Maybe, like some of you have said, it's the Chinese government. I have no idea. I'm not speculating. It's a short until it's not. End of day.
Yeah, I mean, we're putting end of day right now to a lot of things right now. This has just been such a great run today for me and for the market, I guess, as the NASDAQ up that 0.3, looking green like Miss V right today. Nice little move to the upside, 0.32, gone. The market's talking about right now. AAL. Hello. Nice little move to the downside. We talked about this in the pre-market. I hope you enjoyed that. As now this is making moves to the downside. Goes AAL 40 cents in the money now. Oh, and by the way, remember that 2250 level that we screamed about here on our little cheat sheet there? Well, guess what? That came and gone now for CCL. So there it goes. CCL goes all the way down to 2220. We do have that one on board as well. What up, B?
One more to look at here, guys. Zoom. We haven't talked about Zoom in a little while. Anyways, bit of a pullback on the daily chart, 400 to 300, but big volume coming back in, the stay-at-home favorite, guys.
Microsoft, $1 now in the money. You want to talk about a stay-at-home favorite? Let's see Microsoft continue to go upside. Like, what's Xbox? What are all these companies going to do when it comes through, guys? Neuro reopens now. It's starting to head back to the downside. So Neuro on the reopen there. Good trading. Now we'll see what it does here. If we break back down below this area, like 30, 31, something like that, then I think that's probably a decent spot to get out. And then, you know, left tons of money on the table there. But that was fun. So here goes Neuro, man. We're here to win. So let's see. I mean, if it comes up to 40 again, then obviously that would be a good out. But you know, caught there with rose-colored glasses. Neuro with a nice little halt reopen. Let's see where it goes from here. But so far, so good on absolutely everything else, guys.
Yeah, and PRFX is also halted, probably 5-minute halt, volatility halt. Neuro, if it breaks to the upside 34, it could halt up, and if it halts up, it might make another run at that high. That's where I'm looking for a re-entry. It kind of feels like it doesn't want to crack 30. If it did, we'd be looking right back to that 28 level. So Neuro, I don't know. It's got to make its mind up. I think that PRFX has not breached that high of the day. That might be the one on the reopen that has a little bit more juice to it as Neuro starts to come right back in here. If it halts downside again, like that's 2 in a row, there's like a 3-halt rule we've talked about on the floor before at times, and 3 to the downside could take you into support levels, which would be pretty interesting on Neuro, but it looks pretty weak right now. If it can't get above 34, I'm not really seeing the long unless it halts down again.
All right, we're going to get out of about 199 here if we can on NVIDIA. I mean, that was a big, big trade here. We'll have to wait to see where it goes from here, but it is coming back in a little bit, so we've already taken some profits on that. I can't believe Softy went $1 there, plus in the money up to 286. Don't mind holding these now. We've already cashed in a lot of this profit today, so so far so good on the cash side of things. We just, you know, we're holding big time trades here. You know, DD all the way to the downside. We've already got, like, look at these out, 66, 64. These are low ticks of the day right here, guys. So off that short, I mean, that's 1097. I love that trade to the downside. So we're going to watch DD continue to work. I mean, I told you this was one of my biggest positions here today. This one maybe, I mean, we have so many possible trades of the day, including Softy, including Neuro, including NVIDIA, everything, guys, working out right now. But it's Mr. Wicked's at the big desk.
I wrote this one off early this morning, but clearly shouldn't have. SOS giving you a great opportunity. 320 ended up being a level in the pre-market there. Right back to where we were yesterday for that SOS.
And right back to $6 is PRFX. Now, this rolled over a few times. The one at 7 o'clock was kind of it was crazy because one 7 o'clock hit, it was just a ridiculous flush. There was a bid at 620 that was pretty hittable is all I'm going to say. I have no excuse for not getting it because I just paid for short 30 seconds earlier. If it gets to that 620 and can't break, I'm likely to take this trade off. I said this one looked pretty strong. The reverse of that short off a reopen is if it holds the halt price or above it, put the stop at the halt price, blah, 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 go long. Now that's what we've done here. So you can play those in both directions. I chose a long, as we said, PRFX could get off at Schneid. It has right now about 60 cents in the money. You know what? If you're going to slow down around a price that I like before, I'm going to do that thing where I hit the key after instead of like execute first, hit key after. Not going to let the gift horse melt. 620 was like that 7 o'clock fail price. A chance if it breaks through there, fair enough, but I get in and out on this halt reopens, and a lot of times it's to take that trade. It was the same thing on Neuro yesterday. It was in and out in a $5 range, essentially on that halt. If it halts again, I'll look to make another play. They're in, they're out. It's about to halt. Let's see if I can get it. Gimme. Can I get it? Can I get it? It's going to halt, so I can actually bid 637. There's an off chance. See how there's red prints going off here? But one thing you got to consider, if it does not halt, it's going to go down probably to like 550. There we go. It actually did halt. I didn't get a fill, so we'll cancel those orders. But if it didn't halt in that situation, like that thing would be down at like 550 in a matter of seconds. So you have to have a really quick stop order in just to make sure you don't get caught. It's possible to get a fill like that. Brendan?
I was just checking on Domino's here. Yeah, I think it is actually all-time highs. Get the pizza button ready, guys. DPZ reporting in the pre-market here. Volume a little bit light on this, but 7% just broke $500 for Domino's, guys.
And guess what just happened as well, guys? Spin it one more time. I mean, IGC just rips, guys, just rips. And we take that out. IGC, the monster win here for me today. Again, who knows what's going to be the trade of the day, but look at this IGC 360 out there at 440 at that high. And the reason why, again, you know, I think that, I mean, 480, pretty sweet, but we got out right in the middle here. I'm pretty happy with this trade. So IGC, put it on the board. Okay, IGC, and that, wow, okay, that out on IGC. Hello, as now you drop all the way back down on IGC. So, hey, pretty happy with that out now. We withstand Nero trading as well. That dips down to 30-ish. Now, I don't know. I mean, you know, to me, I think that $4, $5 in the money in an active name here as the market is open, probably worth taking, you know, if you're in this name. But again, I'm going to hold out for it. So that's just the way I'm going to be trading that. DD, I mean, here we go, man. Slaying dragons on this name here as DD. Again, like if you're looking at the sticky note, I'm just going to keep saying this because we get new viewers all the time. Follow me. Look at the levels that are on here, and then you'll understand hopefully why. As DD right now at the day's low, let's take another piece off. I told you, and again, that's what I'm trying to do. Give you guys information on when I'm putting on some decent sized shares. I told you DD was my biggest position, so we'll load it up like that, and then we'll bang it out carnival style. There. Bang, there it is. Yeah, there's the money. So DD comes through with us today. What a big trade that was.
And that IGC reversal, I mean, 450 is a random price on that stock, by the way, but 340 is not. We're trying to bounce off right now. NVIDIA is starting to come back in. I don't want this thing breaking a 196, especially, look, I don't think it's going to, but I want to break 196. I have my offer too close to 200, I think, so I'm going to move it a little bit further away from that 200 level. We're still waiting on the reopen of PRFX. Of course, that's going to be a big one, but I'm going Neuro long if it breaks 34. It's been in this range long enough that it's bounced off 30 here, and if it holds 30, it's likely to put in like a bounce and then maybe halt to the upside. So I'd like to catch a bit of a breakout on Neuro if I can. No things are guaranteed. That WISA, yeah, I maybe got out of that one a little bit early, but we thought that would be a runner on that breakout, and here it goes. Looks like it's about to break that $6 range. This one dips to $5.25, $5.40, or look to play any kind of a halt. WISA could be a halt one, although somehow has managed not to from $5 to $6 here. Watch out for a $6 even level. There's a bit of size there. Brendan?
Trying to get back to higher prices here. Las Vegas Sands reported aftermarket yesterday, guys, but 48, bit of a pivot here in the pre-market, also aftermarket yesterday. So important level here for LVS.
Okay, so we're gonna go short. I just made a mistake on CCL there by getting out, and I bid instead of, so anyways, we went back into the short rate now on CCL, so let's see where it goes. We now have 4 times as many shares on the CCL short, so let's see if it goes. I mean, I want to use these kind of levels upside. Let's check out a bigger chart there for CCL. We did miss that trade initially. So we got out of Neuro there, guys, when it broke 30. I'm thinking that this is probably a good long through this 31 one more time. So if we break through 31, we'll try Neuro one more time here on that. So hopefully that can go 31 and change. And we'll see if it goes anywhere off of that level. I don't mind taking it if we can get it. But watch out for the spread there on this. Like now it's 25, 30 cents there on Neuro. Still my number one stock today, but I mean, really now everything else seems to be catching up to it. As there we go. So now we're actually making money on CCL now, despite having that bad call there. Now CCL coming to the downside here on good shares. I told you I had 4 times as many shares on that move back upside there. So we're taking some out right now if we can get it 58 and 59. And there we go. We're putting that on the board right now. And Supermaning CCL, we didn't like that move up. We did make a keystroke error and got out. So I went 4x the shares back into that name on that move up because I wanted the average in anyways. As my net right now at the highest spot it's been at all day right now. So a good trade here for me on CCL. So let's go, guys. Ring the register maybe on this name.
It looks like QN is also halted to the upside. PRFX should be opening up in a matter of seconds here, so this one's front of my attention. We'll get to QN in a quick second. WISA we also got into. We're opening barely higher. That's not too exciting, but I guess the play is going to be if it holds this 637 like it did last time. Let's see if we can't get a bit of a quick, can't even get it there. Try to catch like 650s in front of that 637. Basically the same play that we put on before, but unable to catch it there. You can see. Same thing we did here. We tried to bid in front of that halt price, rinse and repeat the same action. Looks like this one is going to continue to go. But the thing is, if you want to be in there at a good price, it's about to halt to the upside again. I will not bid. By the way, I'm not bidding this halt to take it just automatically. Why? Because that's a pre-market high. So, and what we did here, where I was actually trying to catch a long off these on the halt, I'm not going to be doing the same thing all the way up here. I was trying to catch that 650, the same strategy we did the first halt to the upside. So this one's going crazy. We'll get to QN in a quick second here, guys. But NVIDIA looking rather, I'm not saying looking weak, but coming right back in. Probably looked a gift horse in the mouth. It is what it is sometimes. And now it's testing out those pre-market lows. QN halted, PRFX halted, Neuro maybe it's not the most exciting one anymore because you have the halt fest in other interested parties here. And I'm looking at you, that PRFX, which if it takes the top, maybe that's the one today.
Yeah, I'm looking directly at you. NVIDIA right now, we do have that bid one more time here. So we did put our money there into NVIDIA one more time at 195.70 here. Yeah, I guess now, we've already taken the profits, right? So, but right now we're looking at this drop zone right here. I'm gonna make sure that, we watch out for that level. What is this? 194 flat there. So a little bit of a drop down there probably brings us to this 193 area. So watch out here. 193, I think we'll probably tap out of NVIDIA if we have to. But give us another name here, Brendan.
One to add, guys. Not terribly exciting today, but one to add to your electric vehicle quote board list if you do have one of such. FFIE, which is now Faraday Future. So day number 1 after they closed their merger with that PSAC SPAC. So Faraday Future, another EV name here, guys. Straight to the downside so far.
Straight to the downside. Yet another one, guys. It looks like NVIDIA is going to be the not good one. It's not this yet, but it's getting to that point, guys. I don't like that one. I don't like that too much. Gonna go to Tesla. We didn't talk about Tesla, but it put in a monster, well, it put in a big move to the upside, now testing these lows. I'm still looking at a market which is trying to hold up. The NASDAQ's basically up, but the ES is turning red on the session. But Tesla bouncing off a pre-market low here. I mean, I'm gonna put it in. It is what it is. I'm gonna try to get like a 655. If I'd seen it, I'd probably already be long at 655.50 here, but sort of enough is enough. It was a good breakout, but you can't catch that anymore. If I can catch something a little closer to that low of the day, Tesla is going to be an in for me. Haven't traded in a little bit, but I'll just go stop pre-market lows here. That's about 654, or sorry, opening range lows and pre-market lows. 654.63. Round down to the even because that's what I like to use.
Okay, I'm reloaded. And then we just fire them off here, guys. I mean, look at this. Look at this position here on AAL. I mean, that is definitely a... Okay, I'm reloaded. I mean, you want to go up like that, AAL, and then I'm going to teach you about 2150. We already talked about that. And then there it is, man. Look at this. 2150 in, out there, 2080. 88 is something like that, whatever that price was there, 28, 89. So a good move upside there for that name as AAL tried to get us there, but no, you did not. Just like CCL did not. Right now, no losing trades on today. 0 losing trades on the board today. As CCL, we just got some of that out at 22.46 there on the downside as well. So big trading happening here. We'll see what happens. I mean, I guess we do have a pending loser. If NVIDIA wants to go to the downside, we're long at 196.63 here. It's not going to hold up, man. If the NASDAQ fails like it's doing right now, then NVIDIA is going to get crushed. So we know that. We're watching that. And I just think that you guys got to sometimes figure out where your bias is in some of these markets. If you're to the short side, then some of these names, you want to take the opposite positions. I'm wondering about NASDAQ right here at these levels right here. So we're coming very, very close. Some of these pre-market highs, yeah, I mean, we're right at them and beating them. So if we have to go one more level down, I mean, how far do we have to go down? Great move off the open there, spurned by Microsoft and NVIDIA. Probably Apple probably went for a run as well. But right now, this is it's not a big worry, but it's a worry for me. But, we don't have any fiscal worries per se, as everything else is just making moves, guys. And over here, we make money moves. Shout out to Cardi B.
I'm kicking myself. Usually it's like SOS is like the short. Right? Like that stock, just short it because, and I'm like, oh no, but crypto's moving, blah, 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 whatever. Like SOS does the thing that it does. At interesting levels, it's actually flat on, well, sorry, it's down on the session now. Forget about flat. So SOS is breaking these lows. If he gets to 255 and has a bounce, fair enough. But NVIDIA is about to turn a loser for me, so I'm going to have a losing stock because I loaded back into NVIDIA and didn't get out in front of that 200 aggressively enough. I got Tesla off the bottom, which I wanted to play. And I guess is it a 5-minute halt on PRFX? Oh yeah, so PRFX is about to reopen. This is the one that I think has a chance to break that high. High of the day sitting at 730. I didn't want the long in front of the high of the day trying to catch it on the halt, but this is now halted twice to the, sorry, 1, 2, 3 times to the upside. That's easy math, shouldn't mess it up. This one could be the one today. It looks like it's gonna try to open up higher again.
Okay, where's my bid here? $20.86. Maybe I'll bust this up a little bit here on AAL. It's Mr. Wiccan's neighborhood, and we live in it. What's up, bud?
IPA Beer lovers rejoice. No, this is immunoprecise antibodies, guys, out this morning talking about cocktail they're working on to neutralize, their word, not mine, the Delta variant, COVID Delta variant. So this one just popping back up. IPA through $8 there on volume.
What's up?
Oh no, just the usual, right? Like I'm sitting there like talking through, and this is, look, the reality is, if we're gonna do a live show, one of the costs is it is educating you guys. I'm sitting there putting a stop order and did not hit enter when I'm like, stop first, order in long, stop order didn't go out. So I'm long and it's gonna be on this halt, and I'll probably give everything back. I had a big short on PRFX, we had a nice long here. We'll probably give everything back because I'm taking it out wherever it opens. It doesn't matter what I think can happen to the stock. It doesn't matter if I think at some point it's gonna go above this pre-market high again. That's completely irrelevant. I didn't want this trade if it was gonna hold through that, if it was gonna break back through 7 even, but I didn't hit enter on my stop even though I did, and then I put the bid anyways. That's on me, it's a keystroke error. I'm taking this thing out wherever it happens to open up because there's no hold. You make a mistake, you don't want the shares, you get out of them. End of day, guys. I'm not giving back my entire day because of one keystroke error.
Okay, just reading the wife saying what's up to me. What's up, wife? How are you? Hope everything is okay. Okay, which it is. Neuro right now, we went long. I told you we go long back in the 31 break, so we're going to try this out a little bit to see if it wants to go. This is a very, very quick stop. Probably get stopped out. My out's going to be at 30 again. So I just thought that maybe we wanted to get going here. Remember, low float here. I am nervous about Neuro, and I'll tell you why. And it's the same reason why I said that yesterday about Neuro, was that a lot of these companies, and here it comes, we're going to get out, whatever. It should be about $1 hit here. Is that, you know, they're going to raise capital at some point, and how you do that with share offerings. And then when that happens, you know, this doesn't see a bottom for a bit. So there we go. So we're out. So just be careful there on any, oh no, we didn't even cross down far enough. So just be careful on any sort of a share offering here with Neuro. There we go. Now we're out because that could be a problem for them. So, you know, that's always the risk when you get a stock running like this, that they come out and they offer some kind of shares, right? So look at
if
this.
Neuro does an offering during market hours with the liquidity that it has, that's criminal in my opinion. That's ridiculous because there's not much liquidity. It's halting all over the place. You can't do an offering while the market's open on this thing. Yeah, that would be nuts.
The market being criminal. You probably that probably is what's going to happen at some point there. We've seen that happen before intraday, and we're like, what the hell? But yeah, I don't know. They have to file. There's lots they have to do. So it's not like they're just going to happen right now or anything. But maybe it does. Who knows? We'll wait to see on that one. We did take our last piece of Nvidia right now. I just believe in the name, and if I get a hit on it, I get hit on it. And that's how I'm trading. So 192.50. I told you that this would be my stop spot all the way back down here. If we give up some of this bounce that happened yesterday in the aftermarket, so be it. But 192.50 downside right here on, as I'm hitting my wire again. I really need a wireless mouse, but I don't trust those things. So now we'll see if Nvidia can hold. That's all. To the upside there. CCL 20 pennies in the money. AAL 20 pennies in the money. DD 42 pennies in the money. Nvidia $1 out of the money, as today's been a very, very good day. I'm slightly, I mean, obviously that Neuro hit there did put me down into the negative spot there. So into my negative from the top spot there. So we'll wait to see if Neuro goes one more time. And by the way, I just took out Softy just above this for, I guess that was another 50-cent win there. We took it out, all in the same areas. I was nervous about the NASDAQ coming down more, and I'm already hella invested into Nvidia, as you guys know. So we take out Softy. That's going to be a mistake. But hey, I love that name. Let's get ready to rock and roll. Brendan, kill him softly, buddy.
I mentioned Domino's earlier, guys. Here's another one. Pizza. Papa John's just popping up here as well. 116. Again, not a lot of volume, but Domino's reported better than expected, so PZZA. Yeah, get the pizza button out, guys.
What mark is? Oh, they're on NASDAQ.
Hey, my paisan, nice pizza.
Notice what's not on that pizza, everybody. You better believe it. Hey, by the way, like it's kind of a joke, but it's not really a joke. There's a lot of fake accounts going around on Twitter. One of the easiest ways to do it is like if someone DMs you from any of us, just ask an obvious question like you watch the show. Like what is Sean's favorite stock?
No, that won't work. That won't work. They're too smart. They already know all that stuff, man. Someone even said that yesterday in the chat.
Seriously?
The guy answered pineapples. So I mean,
these guys are idiots. But oh, by the way, it's still a trading show, so we'll go. This was Tesla. Look, obviously PRFX, I'll reiterate, I'm getting out no matter where it opens up. So if I turn green to red on the stock, it is what it is. If I maintain my day, it is what it is. But Tesla, some out in front of VWAP because I'm always going to do that on a bottom pick pre-market trade. I'd like to see if we can get back up to that 660 level. So at least we got the bottom on Tesla here. Don't trade it often, but when we do, it's pretty solid. I think we're going to Miss V.
Sure.
Hey Neil, some traders on the chat talk about software company support.com. Could you guys give us a quick review on SPTR?
No, Valeria, we won't do anything like that. Anything crazy like that, we will not review stocks. Yeah, that's hilarious. We will look at that because I'm just joking. This is hilarious. Yeah, you can give me some shit later, Valeria. I had fake Sean try to sell me hot dogs, see? I mean, this guy's probably lying, but, not that you are lying, Michael Travis, that's amazing if that actually happened. I just find it hard to believe, but that's crazy if that did happen. We're going, we just did come from Valeria, so now we'll do something like this as we will celebrate another one here as we picked up NVIDIA on the low side there. We talked about why it comes right back to flat, my average price. So we take out a piece there at my average price. Now everything else is cash money. So we'll see about this going to the high side. Look at AAL right now. Destroyed, 26 cents in the money. CCL. Like, we reloaded on this one, and that's a spicy meatball, this CCL. Man, this one's been a right call for me. I'd love to get this down a little bit lower so we can load up, put some in the wheelbarrow. But for right now, CCL is just cruising for a bruising onto the downside. So we're going to try to hold that as much as we can. NVIDIA, 25 cents in the money. DD, CCL, and AAL. If you're not having fun with us, I apologize because I think we are.
Yeah, and that's SPRT correction there. You guys are all over it in the chat anyways, but that is SPRT. We talk about these gappers and runners and small cap stocks and try to distinguish between a decent looking chart and a bad one. Yeah, well, this one's not a bad one. It's trying to break back. Here's the thing. Is trying to break back above this 550 level. I feel like 550 has been a thing randomly here. And then again, you're testing that price. We've already rejected it once. That'd be my only concern for you guys that are maybe already or looking to go into the long here. If rejected, now 550, you don't want this holding a lower high here. That would not be the greatest sign in the world because it was a level on the daily chart. And psychologically, it's 10% as well. Oh my God, we have a Tesla whatever, I'll hit this one. I know I have a Tesla thing somewhere on my board, and it's not often that we actually get to use our, I guess, like symbol icons there. We'll electrify it. We'll just hit this key because why not? Able to get the bottom on Tesla, but I did lose on NVIDIA. I didn't dig into that long trade. Mistake for me, I think, was not being more aggressive out in front of that 200 level, which is a big one. But I said I would take Tesla out if it got close to that 660, so I'm just gonna bag that little quick bottom dip that we got in Tesla. I don't know why we haven't opened up in PRFX. I can tell you this much. My gut tells me that this long that I'm caught in would be a little bit better if it was a 5-minute halt than a 10-minute halt. I'll go out on the limb and say that.
There we go, guys. NVIDIA, yeah, I mean, watch out the halts. We're now back to days high here today. As I told you, we are hell of invested into NVIDIA, and there we go. Like, again, I'll tell you guys the positions that I'm pretty heavy in here, and it was NVIDIA. I mean, you know, you don't average in 3 times and not believe in the trade. So there it is. We take that out right at these levels. So again, believing in it means we're going to hold it for a little bit longer, but at the same time, you know, we got to trade the levels that we see at. I mean, this was right here into the pre-market, this 196.50. So we get out 196.35 right before that move. And then now you can see that looks like it was a good out. Look, NVIDIA could somehow, I don't know how, but I guess I know how. It can just drop back down to here. We're now $1.40 in the money. This could turn against me at some point, but for right now, I like what's happening as NASDAQ retraces all the way back up. Unfortunately, I sacrificed you, Mr. Softy, but that's okay because you've been one of these for me in my life, and that will continue to be the case. So, Mr. Softy, my favorite stock to trade, but I did sacrifice this position because I was 5 times more in NVIDIA than I was in Microsoft, maybe more than that. But that's why we sacrificed that position because we didn't need the whole NASDAQ to continue to fall down. And then we would have got sacrificed as an NVIDIA stakeholder right now. So we're not doing that. And all we're doing right now is, and look, am I just a bull? Hell no. I'm going both ways, baby. AAL on the short side, CCL on the short side, and DD on the short side. I know it's happening now, and Brendan's over there at the big screen. Stop giving me hell. What's up, Brendan?
Hey guys, 10 o'clock. Let's have a look at North American markets here. trying to get back to positive territory. We are for the S&P just in the red at the moment. Same story for the Dow, down 0.2. Look at the NASDAQ, though, composite and the 100. Both higher on the day. So tech stocks leading once again. The Russell we saw in charge yesterday. It was up 1.5%, or it might even have been more at this point yesterday, but leading to the downside today. Here in Toronto, the TSX in negative territory, but only just. Few things we were looking at in the pre-market. If you joined us, Crocs, we mentioned, reported here in the pre-market recent highs. There's not a lot of volume behind this, though. It's already dying off. 130, pretty obvious level there for CROX, up 9% after record quarterly earnings for Crocs. Love, Southwest, day lows here. Another one that reported here in the pre-market, trying to get back to, as I said, day lows for LUV. Guys, back to you.
People wanting the sweater vest again there, Brendan, but you know, only has so many sweater vests, guys. And it wasn't a sweater vest, anyways. It was.
No, it was just a straight vest.
Yeah, just straight killing it vest. In the winter, Brendan will be wearing sweater. I don't know if he will or not.
Yay,
you don't own a sweater vest, do you, there, Brendan?
I
like
can.
a sweater?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, why? Yeah.
Come back in the winter.
This is why Brendan, Dada, guys, Dada. Brendan, yeah, killing it. That was, you know what? Let's check back in on Dada stock right now. It was funny because there was a day where Brendan kept dropping the news to us on Dada, and it was over and over again. And then somebody, AKA Rob, I think, really loved the Dada talk. And that was, a recent IPO, a Chinese name there. Just checking back on it for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Okay, let's go over to Bob. You know what I want to go over to? Actually, forget about this. I want to get my money into Uber at some point. There's a few names that are on my shopping list right now, including more Ford if it dips down, and including a new position in Uber first, a starting position. So you'll see when Sean Capital puts his first rating on Uber, I'll tell you when that's going to come and when we initiate a position. So SCC Capital going to be coming in here at some point and making a move on Uber. So get ready for that one. But I need it to be down a little bit. You know what? I still think that the market does have a little bit to go here to the downside. Check out NVIDIA, guys. We just took a piece off on this one as well. I wish we didn't have to. But again, nervous on that little dip down there. But now we can roll because NVIDIA right now has the profits in the pocket. We're going to play with house money. You see where we're long now, 194.52, almost $1 in the money. I keep seeing my name being highlighted in the chat here, guys. I can't get them all, but yeah, there we go, Daryl. Daryl likes that data talk, so shout out to you, Mr. Flinch. Thank you so much. Let me know if you want to come back on the show, Daryl. Send me a DM or whatever, and or you have the email address to come back on. Any of our past guests of the day, let us know if that's something that you guys want to do. Drop us a line, guys.
So fortunately, we'll do this. And not going to be negative on PRFX. Said I will get out, and I don't care where it opened up. It ends up opening up at actually not a horrible price. It could have been a heck of a lot worse than that 620. But then you just go right what your next setup is. And it's going to be short off of that previous halt price. So we immediately say, okay, it sets up. We go short at 6. Takes them out at VWAP 580. We take them out at the bottom at 540. It then makes a pop. Like it instantly tries to pop back up to VWAP and find some resistance. Hey, what's that? Oh yeah, that was a pre-market short right here at 580. So I go short off of that level as well. And then breaks the pre-market low, so I end up getting that as well. We get a bunch out around that 520 mark. I'm still holding on to the last entry at 562. My out is gonna be 580 from here. So there's a reason why I go back to these levels and get preachy about them, because that way when like crap like this happens and all this movement is happening on a 1 minute chart, I know exactly where my entry is gonna be and my exit is gonna be my out, where my take profits are going to be, where I'm going to be holding, because now I want to take some out in front of this cluster here. I think if it breaks the bottom, there's going to be some other actionable trades, but scalping is where I like to go. But you got to have a lot of this predetermined. That's why you have to go over your plan over and over again. Brendo?
I just noticed Twilio, guys. Day highs here for Twilio. So not tomorrow, but a week Thursday, Twilio set to report, but nice looking chart here. Volume not the greatest, but 3.5%. Trying to clear some of these levels over here for TWLO.
Every time you say Twilio, I really get it's super excited, because I remember even around here, pre-show, when we had the show, I was running around talking to even a few traders and even some non-traders, you know, in the compliance department and some of the trade support staff here at Day Trade the World. And I was pounding the pavement to get in to Twilio at IPO prices, guys. And I'm hella long Twilio still. And some of these IPO prices, they don't even have them. I don't even know why my chart's not even going back further than this. But you're talking about in the 30s for Twilio. So I got to find out why it's not going back to this level. But Twilio, oh, maybe did they reverse split? Maybe is why they did this. No, I don't think so. But Twilio, a big time name. If you guys ever want to get into something that maybe you're not familiar with, check out Twilio. As now that chart is apparently frozen now, so okay, maybe that's why it wasn't loading back, but I do love me some Twilio. Okay, here it is. Now it's loading. Thank you, Twilio. There we go. So this is made, yeah, I knew it didn't reverse split. This is what I'm talking about, guys. I talked about it at $30. So it is like 15x right now. So that's 1,500% in 2-3 years there, 1,500% for Twilio. So hopefully some of you guys got in on that IPO. There's really no IPOs anything like a Twilio. You know, you got to see CrowdStrike. There's a few things like that, but this was a monster win. And I love this name. You guys can look it up. They first came to market. They have the technology with Uber, allowing non-data texts and things like that, notifications to go through. So we even use them here at DTTW. So I mean, we did. I don't know if we do anymore, but Twilio, a big name, and I hope some of you are involved in that. A little too pricey right now for me to get more in, but a good name there, Twilio.
DD's not too pricey to short more. I mean, well, I don't know. Maybe it is at some point. But it just got up to VWAP. This thing got all the way down to 1040. Yeah, so that's kind of crazy. It did hold below, of course, that previous all-time low. It broke that price. Probably should have taken that break, but if it wants to consolidate here and give a shot off VWAP, I'll go ahead and take it. I'm still going to hold on to that PRFX as long as it's in the money. See if it can't take out the pre-market bottoms. We've been sort of ignoring Neuro. It's not, look, no, we're not ignoring Neuro. Neuro is just basically sliding to the downside. The halt fest feels like it's over on this stock. I mean, I've canceled my stop orders for the breakout. I need to see it make a move before I jump back into this one. It's just kind of getting rather boring on Neuro. And you don't want to be wasting time on something that is not going to be moving. And it's not to say that it's not a good trade. It was a fantastic one. That day is done. Marine, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that one's falling like an absolute rock. It already broke afternoon support and a pretty decent breakout price here at 920, but I'm not going to forget this price, right? You had 920 into like 933 here. You get these tops in right down to this support level. So that's a nice little entry area that you got to consider. If it holds, I mean, I don't care whether it's 850 or I don't care if it's 880, even if it holds $9 right here. If you get a consolidation and get a bit of a wedge, you're going to be looking for about the top end of that 20 to 35 range for a breakout long, especially if volume comes back into it. So that's what I'll be watching from Arena. There's no other trade I would make, probably not even a short through the lows. It would have to be bouncing off one of those support levels and then a long through that 20 to 30 area on MRIN. Yes, it's down, but I want to have a plan of action in case it gets that bounce. I don't care whether it's lunchtime or 11 or it's 10 o'clock now or at 1:30, 3:30, who cares? I want that trade when it happens. If it happens, that's the setup I like to see.
All right, we're just looking for more trades here. Let's check out some Twitter right now. I mean, I still have Neuro on. I don't really have any sort of ideas about this name right now. I mean, we've dumped down to 2750 a couple times there, and that, you know, that could be a spot if you wanted to load up on something. Maybe that might be a spot, but that's already where we went long earlier. So it doesn't look like it's going to have too much juice to it. If it starts going, guys, yell on the chat. We'll see where it wants to go from here. But I'm pretty interested. If we could break VWAP here, maybe 32, I'll get some money back into this name. So 32 is going to be a breaking spot for me on NURO. Still remains a top stock for me. I mean, realistically, DD is my #1 stock today. As we have 7% of my position left on DD. So we're basically out of that name. I'm not going to reload anything until we get back up here near 11. So that's one of those spots for us. We reloaded beautifully on AAL and got out just as beautiful. Now we're right back to that spot one more time. I don't like when we keep on retesting and retesting and retesting all the same levels all the time. So We'll take one more spot here on AAL, but you know, I do still have this 2150 looking at us. So again, if we get short now, we get out at 2150, it's still going to be positive on the day, so we don't have to worry about it. But at the same time, it's coming back north side here as the S&P 500 is just zeros right now. So the ES right now up 0.03% and trying to break higher, but again, so you know, CCL obviously not a big part of the S&P or anything like that. But at the same time, we're just trying to judge market sentiment here as it looks like it's trying to go upside. So we'll wait to see here what happens with this name CCL. I'm going to put on a little small long right now.
Oh my goodness, why is that WISA is at $7, so double top here? Where's that offer? I just saw a couple of 100,000 shares, maybe in change, sitting on that 7 even level. I feel like it's taken out. This one could, I mean, it's already gone for the races here, but oh my goodness, it's going to be hard not to look at that, get like 98, 99 type of short. I wanted to bounce one more time off this level before I try to put it on, because it could be that decent little reversal, but you don't want to miss your out. If you, oh, do we not have shorts on this? Okay, I'm going to have shorts on this thing, so I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. Let's look for the 7 break. If it dips back down, what a ridiculous price 6 is. If it gets below this 6, this might be one of those like short for the rest of the day style trades. So I'm going to have to make sure we have some locates on WISA though.
All right, so there it is. So we are into AAL. We're just locking and loading some of our positions right now on this name. And again, the reason why I'm not panicking about CCL or anything like that, because again, we have that same 7% on again for this name. So we're not really too worried about anything here as we go today. We're just trying to collect that money every time a level breaks, right? So we're going to wait on this CCL trade. Hopefully that can come back to the downside right now. We did just reload our AAL trade, and we did talk about that. So hopefully that can come through at some point here for us, this AAL trade, and then we'll just see, you know, again, it breaks through 2150. We're going to be gone. We do have a good interview coming up, I believe, today, right, Brendan? Yep, we do. So that's going to be good. So that's coming up soon at about 10:45. So join us for that. But right now, NVIDIA and then the same 3. I do want to look at Twitter though, but right now my focus is on AAL and NVIDIA. Still that dollar in the money here, but it doesn't look super crazy anymore. Like it's not doing much. So we'll have to wait to see. I'm a little bit nervous about this bottom, but we still have that 190.250 staring us in the face. So that's going to be something that we're looking at. And I don't mind taking it out if we get back up to VWAP. I don't know if we take out this 200 today. It doesn't seem super strong, but again, if the NASDAQ goes, then maybe this goes only 0.61 today. Not great.
Oh, I just had a decent winner on that WISA. Then I get back in at 6.99. It stops me out by a penny. So we got out here, and I'm chasing it right now. I actually don't mind if I can get like 66, 660, 670. It is what it is, guys. I mean, whatever. You're gonna miss this trade sometimes. It's that jam back in, failed break, and there's only so far you're gonna chase it. Like I'm not gonna sit here shorting it at 650 down to a 6 even, guys. It's kind of jokes. Mike, I've never seen you so sad, Neil. Yeah, I mean. So it actually, here's the reason why I'm mad at myself, because we did have locates on this stock, right? So I kind of went over to check and I'm like, wait a minute, look for the reason of the rejection. And I tell this to trainings all the time, look to why your order rejected. I actually put the incorrect order in and one that should not fill. So it was a keystroke error why it actually didn't get that short. And I just assumed that we didn't have any shorts instead of just quickly checking the error message there. So that's why I was mad at myself. And again, you'll probably see it's a bit my style. To just get instantly like slap myself in the face or like yell at myself and say, why did you make that mistake? Because it's just good for me. Like I find it works for me, so I'm gonna continue to do it here and there. But that's literally what happened. We had locates, and I could have had this short like 2 or 3 times because it went 98 to like 88 3 times, and I could have actually had that a couple of times there. Instead, I assumed that we didn't have locates when we absolutely did on WISA. I just hadn't been short yet, so assumed the worst. Looks like it was a good level off of 7 even. But I didn't make much here because the second time, that's in at 99 and out at 01, by the way. And then, of course, this is what happened. The first one was pretty solid. They got that 10-cent scalp. It looks like it's trying to hold this 6 even area. It was a good pullback before, but this thing could be a bear below 6 even.
Okay, let's try to find some new names here, guys. If there's anything that you want us to look at, put it in the chat, and we will. I mean, that Wisa Neil's already on that. CCIV. Let's take a quick look at Clover. I've wanted to short. I mean, this Clover was on my radar. It's on the watch list. You know, it's a big name there for me today, but we'll see what happens now on Clover. As we were trying to short, we actually weren't trying to short. We put offers upside, so we were trying to get the short, but we weren't forcing the situation, as now Clover comes all the way back to the downside right now. So yeah, you know, I'm not going to go long on Clover. I was hoping to resist that $10 break and go short upside again. Wasn't here at 7 a.m. To take that short, but that's a pretty easy one there on Clover at that $10 level. We talked about why here when it rejected 10 the last couple times. So Clover right back at that 10 today. That would have been a good short, as a lot of these sort of newer stocks, we call them meme stocks, call them whatever. A lot of these stocks have, you know, had some violent moves to the downside. So on that big move up on Clover, was sort of expecting this. But again, you know, we're not here, so there's not much I can say other than we missed that trade here on Clover to the short side. So that sucks. Okay, here we go. So AAL just breaks out that 2150. So a big move up. I don't know what just happened there. Was not expecting that kind of a move up. But now we go long on AAL. This could turn out to be bad now, because that move up was way out of nowhere. That's 1 minute. Like, all of this move is the same move, and this move started at 10:06. It took about 10 minutes to get up here, and then in 1 minute it takes out that 50 level, and we went long there at 53. So let's hold out on it. I mean, we started to get in trouble here at 21.25. So for me, this is worth a 25-cent shot here on AAL. We'll hold the long. If we're wrong, it's going to be back down here at 21.25. No averaging in, no nothing like that. Let's see where we go from here on AAL. That might have been the top, but I did want the breakout. So hey, look, man, turn that frown upside down sometimes, and we'll see what happens here with AAL. We'll see if it keeps going to the upside here. I believe there's a good chance of that. So here we go, AAL. I've liked this for a bit. There's the 21. I mean, here's the 2150 right here. So we get that break. Let's see if we can continue that momentum to the upside. Take a piece out 2160, and then see if we can hold it the rest of the way. But everything else cruising and doing pretty good. I'll look at JKS when we get back from Brendan Shakib.
Busy morning once again, guys, on small cap side of things. Let's have a look at a few that we were talking about in the pre-market. If you joined us early, this Chem Bio up yesterday. We mentioned it all throughout the show. Just a crazy stock. Yesterday, a couple of things to have a look at if you're wanting some levels. 525 late in the day yesterday ends up being a bit of a pivot. 550, and then I was going to give this to $6. Doesn't get much easier though. 525 right before the open ends up being a big wall. There was a huge seller that stepped up there. Push this thing through the pre-market lows at 5. It flushes all the way down to 420. We're bouncing a little bit here, but a pretty easy trade there for Chem Bio this morning. On the downside, WISA, if you were attempting the same thing, you would have, like me, got stopped out, but 480 up to 5, flipped long at 5, and I'll tell you why. There was a buyer that kept showing up below 5, so 5 down to 490. Someone was just absorbing shares on the long side, so that pushed it right through the top end of the range in the pre-market there. So a great long opportunity up to 6. I mean, we've discussed where it is now, so I should have held a little bit more of that, but nice two-way action there for that one this morning. And then eyes I wanted to mention as well. I put a stop above 520 because I had other things to do. Got stopped at a half of that, but I put it right back on below $5. Down to 450 for eyes today. Guys, back over to you.
Eyes moving but no ears. I mean, those things are supposed to, like, can't talk about eyes without talking about ears. It feels like every single day they move in together. We'll do this because we did get out of PRFX. I did mention, hey, here's that pre-market low that it bounced off of 440, but this is the opening range bottom at 450. As it bounces in front of that, I just got out of that last trade. And the thing is, like, you heard me talk about that when I got caught in a hole. Like, if you're trading this style of trade, pretty much the worst case scenario is exactly what happened, right? Like, it's getting long here and getting trapped in a halt down, like not able to get all the way in, couldn't get out of the 653. Believe me, I was trying to get out, couldn't do it. And then you get trapped in the halt. Like, what do you do with that situation? Just take the hit. Take the hit wherever it is and move on to the next trade. The next trade was literally a good setup for that short, which I'm usually looking for anyways. We're able to get it. We're able to hammer the short a couple of times and then all the way to the bottom. So you're able to make it back. There's no guarantee that setup was going to be there, but you don't want to be crying over spilt milk. You want to be executing the next plan if it presents itself. So that's what we did. CMI, I'm looking at this one too. I don't know, my offer is there. So someone just said in the chat, it's going. I like 540 for a good resistance level. I mean, 5 is pretty good too. I think it would I'd love it a little bit more if it kind of maybe broke this, not that I bet against any other shorts, but if it broke this and then reversed off of 540 would actually be a pretty good setup. But right here, right now, you got a pre-market low. It just tried to spike through it and failed right at $5. So 5 is a pretty solid line in the sand on CMI. Maybe I want to catch it in like the mid 90s or so off of that level because that feels like a better entry point. I'm actually starting to think that, I mean, Neuro, you sort of look at it here, like we broke that 28 level, but we still haven't taken out this higher low that it had 25.6. Let's throw out 24 for now. But this area right here is kind of like slowly fading into it and looking like it maybe could consolidate. If Neuro consolidates for any good time, like you really have to watch out for this one to get going again because it usually doesn't take too much, and the stock is still up a little bit if you hadn't noticed before. Tesla breaking the lows? No way. Tesla didn't break the lows.
Yeah, I mean, NASDAQ coming back in a little bit here. So the same thing's happening with NVIDIA. So Shakib, I said I'd look at Jinko Solar. I mean, it's just getting destroyed today off of a beautiful open. Like, wow, it was up quite nicely. And now you're down that 1 and a bit percentage points here. And again, this is not a name that I've looked at. What a great bottom back there in May. We had a huge run early when this is the president here, the switch over to green energy and whatnot. And now, obviously, that's come right off that 89 high. Could we revisit it? The chart doesn't look very nice here when you look at it like that, but there's a nice little spot here. And I think we're getting close, man, like $50, $52 for a reload. Basically, you know about that. It's already come down here. I think that there's some decent levels here. But again, like if you break this 54 and then 50 doesn't hold, then you're down here again. So just watch out here on JKS. That's Jinko Solar. I like it. I like it. Infrastructure plan. Like if there's any more solar talk, obviously that's what this is here. So, you know, you got to wait for some actionable news on these names. But hey, if you're trying to bottom pick, this might be an option kind of name here because, again, with news coming through, we'll see what happens with Jinko Solar. Okay, WISA. I know Neil's talked about it, but I'm going to look at this quickly again as well because I don't want to, miss out if anything's happening here. So we saw up to 6 and change just now. That's the daily chart. Okay, nothing there. We'll talk about that after if I need to. But here on the 1 minute chart, let's go. Guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe button if you're watching. Hopefully you are doing that already. Yeah, okay, so this is a 1 minute chart. Wow, a big run to 7, straight to the downside here. Yeah, I'm not too interested in this thing until we get back into 550 area or so. Our AAL, costing me a bit of cash here, but we're only long at this spot as, yeah, okay, so my minute chart didn't work. But AAL, we are long above this 2150 level. It goes back into the money for us again, another 6 or 7 pennies, but we don't take it. So now we're gonna have to absorb this hit maybe. And I told you we're gonna hold it to about 21.25. So if it comes back down, that's my out on that name. And DD, we're light on that, but maybe that's a reload. I don't know. It's stuck at 1070 right now on DD. So we'll see. Maybe it's a better short if it breaks 1064.
So there's a few shares on the offer again on Moxie. Like how many times am I going to see this? So do you see this ARCA? That's not even the bigger order. There's actually a larger order sitting at 27.45 on Moxie. So if you see me pop in to this trade, I'm literally trying to risk 10 to 15 cents so that you can like scalp it down to 27, maybe hold on to some. It's just, I mean, it's done 250,000 shares and there's like 4 times that sitting on the offer at 27.45. I want to come back over to, if I can, well, not Moxie, back over to Semi. I keep saying Semi because you guys know I've watched Coming to America many times, probably too many times. I wanted to see if there was any size or any reason to get in front of that 5. I didn't see it, so now I'm looking back to that 540 level that I liked a little bit better. So I'm still all over Semi, like I'm watching it. I have a level 2 dedicated, but I'm watching for that 540, which I liked a little bit better as 5, as I kind of mentioned. Brendo?
Just seeing a note here on Churchill. Once again, CCIV, it's not really doing much, just kind of chopping around here between 24 and 23. Apparently, they've adjourned this special meeting until Friday now. As far as the vote is concerned, the shareholder vote on the deal. So if anyone's watching this, just a heads up, probably won't learn much before Friday, guys.
I feel like that's probably not a good thing for CCIV, but I mean, we don't really know the reasoning behind that other than it's adjourned. So let's see if there's any movement. I mean, I think it's, shoot. Okay, let me see if I can get it up onto another chart here for you guys here. CCIV, here's a 3-minute chart today. So no surprise that we're choppy back and forth, people thinking something's going to go down here, but it looks like just 23.20. So I would leave this alone now, that there doesn't seem to be too much. Obviously, if any news came out, that 24.20 would have been great. and I wouldn't short this thing. So I'm just going to leave it alone, but I just wanted to show you what CCIV was doing. And on that note, AAL right back to a positive state one more time. So we'll see what happens here on the long side of this AAL trade. We're back into the money. So if you don't like this trade and you're nervous about it, then please get out. But we're going to wait to see if we get some 50. See? Like it just was up there and it just dropped 10 cents there in like one little thing. Oh, here we go, NASDAQ. Here we go. Maybe this is time to get out of some NVIDIA right now, as it is just Rip City right now. NVIDIA right back to these levels. We're $1.20 now in the money on this one. So here we go, upside. I may want to look at IGC again, someone said. Yeah, I mean, we already destroyed this stock today, guys. Needless to say, but that was a great bid down there at 3. So we will have a look one more time. I'm going to get out of some NVIDIA. This was a nice rip upside as NASDAQ just takes out the high there. So let's take out one more piece of NVIDIA, and then we'll hold a small piece into the close, hopefully today. And we'll see if NASDAQ, actually, you know what, forget it. Let's just hold on to this in case NASDAQ does want to continue its move up. $1 in the money now on this name. And then here comes right back upside AAL. Let's take a little bit out. I have no idea what that drop was all about.
Yeah, and I got that Moxie position on now, and I'm also watching this DD, which it just, I mean, look at this. It actually tested back up 1075. The reason my average is 70 is because I actually still hold some from that 11 break. But I'm not going to look that gift horse in the mouth. Can't do it. I mean, I'll get on this bid in this cluster here. That's a big-time volume spike to the downside here. Oh, not volume spike, but a couple of big red candles on decent volume. If it barcodes off of that, I want to rinse and repeat, get some out here, maybe take a bit of a short pop in front of 1075. So still in play, heavily in play is that DD, and there's no reason to get out of that short just yet. By the way, Neuro, I said I'm not necessarily done with this stock. I don't want to get too far away. I just got out of some DD there. Why is this not coming out? I put NASDAQ in. Yeah, this might be frozen here. Come on. Yeah, it looks like I'm frozen on my chart here. If you can take over, Sean, sorry.
The airline's coming right into your face right now. Boom, as AAL. We get our 59s. So that's a good trade now, up to 60 right here. We're long 53, but we did empty some out here. I don't know why that kept dropping like that. And I didn't want to get long at the 40 spot there. So when something's acting a little crazy like this, I don't really want to be in it. So AAL did have earnings, so there is catalyst behind this. We are long the name now. We were short and crushed it. It's a positive name for me today. But at the same time, I was expecting a little bit more here. And if I show you the chart of AAL and why we liked it again, was this high. Like we made it back here on the 14th of July. And then on what I thought wasn't a horrible report, they turned positive. We just taking that out right now. So I think this is well worth the hold. It's a decent sized position for me. That's why I keep harping on it. But we did get a little bit out there on the high side. So if it comes down to 21.25, obviously this trade will be negative. But I still have hopes that we can take out these high levels right now and continue northbound on this airline company. What's up, Brenda?
It's 10:30, guys. That means coming up in 15 minutes. Great interview coming through. Trip Therapeutics. Greg McKee is going to tell us about some news that actually came out yesterday involving the University of Michigan and Trip Therapeutics. So stick around for that, guys. Coming up again in about 15 minutes. Let's check on Europe in the meantime. Miss V is watching what's happening over in Europe. What's up?
Hey Brandon, European markets are positive except for Britain. Earnings are in focus. Unilever trading in London is down more than 5% after cutting its full-year operating margin forecast. Back to you.
Yeah, it's interesting. Arun was even talking about the fact that overall the market might need a little bit of a breather, and it does seem to be that way so far, guys. The index is pretty flat so far. Yeah, I mean, look, we're still kind of flattish here. What I was trying to get to a couple of names here. When Neuro did test that 25, 60-ish area, popped down. It looks like it's trying to recover off of it. It's like I said, if it consolidates here, I'm going to love it. I know you went over to IGC, and I think for good reason, because correct me if I'm wrong, I think IGC is likely to be the volume leader across the board for some of these names that we've been watching today. And I think it's going to continue to do that. But that's a big bounce that it just put off of 326. That's a random level. I think 3 would look a little bit better here. But you're kind of getting these fades every single bit of a pop here, and the volume is starting to trail off. So, IGC, if it can hold this level one more time and maybe barcode off of 325, I think that would be a good look. I talked about that Moxie. And again, this is a very specific kind of trade on Moxie. And we said this every single time the size has shown up. This has nothing to do with... Come on, flip. This has nothing to do with like fundamentals. It has nothing to do with like, oh my goodness, look at this key level on the chart. No,
There was 1 million shares on the offer at 27.45, so I'm short at 44. Like, that's it. Like, that's the reason I'm taking some out at 30s. I got bids all the way down to 27. It's just, there's 1 million shares on the offer at 27.45. That's the only reason for the short. There's nothing else about it. If that level gets taken out, I'm out hoping to get a penny loss. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, you got, some trades need tight stops. So you got to just trade that the way you guys see fit here. All right, so DD, I mean, 40 cents in the money, big trade there. Really happy with it. I mean, we'll see if it can make days low again. That would have been probably a good reload up there. We didn't do it, but we're just waiting to see what's happening here. As it looks like we could talk about Ethereum quickly here. This is a this is a 5-minute chart. 1 minute right now. It is starting to let's move over chart. It is starting to come to the downside just a little bit. Oh, sorry. This is 88. What am I talking about? I love Cardano too much. I'm calling it Ethereum. Here's Ethereum right now. So here it is. Yeah, there's the minute chart. So it's starting to make a little bit of a move down here now, breaking back in. We just tested again, basically 2,000, failed right there, literally right at 2,000. Now you're only down like, I mean, for those of us that are holding this, down 20 pennies or sorry, $20, $50 isn't a whole hell of a lot. But we are watching out for this 1950 area, as that was the bottom there earlier on this morning. So just watch out. That's why I bring it to your attention. There's a bunch of different plays that you guys can have there. There's SI, there's Silvergate, there's Mara. I mean, we could check out Mara. We haven't looked at that in a bit. The Bitcoin mining as well. This moves obviously as crypto moves as well. So we'll see Mara today down that 2%. And it's been a little bit of a wild ride, obviously topping out when Bitcoin did here at 57. But the thing about Mara is it's very similar to Bitcoin. You're just trapped here a little bit, but with more volatility. So as Bitcoin goes between 35 and 30,000, Mara seems to have gone from 32 down to 22, but that looks like a decent base here at 19. So this may be not a bad spot if you're a bull on the crypto space to get your money in, as we've bounced off 20. So you do have some obvious outs there on that. What's up, B?
Just watching Chem Bio, guys. It did retake 525 and then 550 as well. So big volume alert just came back into CEMI back to the upside again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of waiting for that break for a while. I mean, hey, look at that. In the afternoon, we're shorting this price. 550. We kind of talked about this, that Chem Bio would be a break when it got there. In volume, probably should have been looking at that 5 level. I mean, give me a break. I mean, I was sitting there saying why I don't like the short at 5, and then I'm not even taking, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just got the long when it broke that 550. I got 55s. I scalped the first little bit out because immediately I saw, when I went to level 2, I just saw an offer, and I'm like, oh, that's actually not a small offer. I'll get out of it. Looks like it's trying to test this level here. This is like 575 at 7 a.m. when this started to go to the downside. 7 a.m. there was a bit of a flush. I'm pulling the chart back so you can see the afternoon range as well. So above that price, 610 is not random. It's kind of a turnaround point in the afternoon on that as well. Back into that Moxie trade, that rinse and repeat. 43 instead of 44, but whatever. And the reason why, guys, Ken H, I see you saying fake offer, but it's sitting there and it's now been hit for 200,000. Well, I mean, it's a couple of 100,000 shares have been taken off of that. And each time I've seen it on Moxie, you've been able to hit that level. Like they've been taking that fill. But Chem Bio was the big runner. No halts on this stock today, but a nice move on volume. I'll hang on to the rest of this for just around that 580 to 6 even area if it can go. But if it can't hold 540, I'll have to take it off.
Yeah, that's the thing, guys. We're always looking at key levels. I mean, if you haven't noticed that about us, that's how we trade. So please be very, very careful with some of the levels that you're looking at. They could be different than ours, obviously. So please always keep that kind of stuff in mind. Interesting there, Shakib. I'll have to go over SOS a little bit more. I don't mind that I like that they're data mining and all that kind of stuff. So maybe there is something there with SOS. Now with a nice little move upside there, great bounce off 230. And now that I look at this thing, we know it has the Reddit and all that possibilities to go, and it's a pretty cheap stock. So not a bad bottom there at all around 250. So this may be a name to put on your watch list, guys. There for a trade. SOS not looking horrible as a potential flyer. So we'll see there if it goes, but who knows? Not a bad look there. Thank you for that, Shakib, as you found it. So good look on that one. AAL today again, guys. We're just talking about earnings today, and I mean, I'm just reading to you what the earnings were. American Airlines posted quarterly profit compared with a year ago, loss, so 19. U.S. Airlines posted a net income of 19 million, okay? And we're just gonna try to hold this to go long. I mean, we're already long. We'll see if it wants to take out more highs here. I mean, realistically, for me as an investment, I'm not getting my money into these names at these levels. We really missed an opportunity the last couple of days to buy LUV, to buy CCL, to buy some of these companies. But regardless, nice little dip down there in AAL. Let's see if it wants to retrace back here to the 50-period moving average, 22 and change. So I really am pretty bullish on this now that we're hanging up here, but we do have a drop spot of 21.25. So that's why I'm not getting out of anything anymore. Let's see if we can't take out, I mean, do I have an offer upside? Probably around 75. So we'll take some out at 75 if it goes there. Man, NVIDIA, like NVIDIA's where I have most of my capital right now invested so far today. And it's my largest position. It's a $195 stock, but it's just not doing anything. It keeps bouncing off of this 194.50, basically where we're in, and then it keeps going up to 196 as NASDAQ ripping today and just continues to make moves upside. So I don't know why NVIDIA's not going. I told you I already sacrificed Microsoft for this, so I feel bad about doing that. So I really hope that I can cash in on this NVIDIA because we did leave some money on the table here on Softy off of, again, another sticky note talk here on that break. That was a good trade, man. We had Microsoft. I mean, everything on here has been good. The only thing that hasn't hit today is Clover because we wanted the short in front of 10, and hopefully that can still come. Hopefully that can still come in. No, Clover didn't do anything. But right now we're just chilling out. So nothing for me. We'll just watch NVIDIA. Hopefully that can go to the upside in AAL.
I think this, I see you guys all over IPA. This is one of the reasons why this is the best trading channel out there and the best community. It's because it's the best community because, I mean, this is a miss. I miss IPA altogether. You guys are yelling about it in the chat. And also, Jagerbomb, I see you. You're right, Cliff. If Cliff gets down, if it's at 2050, I should be long Cliff. Not here, anyways. But Cleveland Cliff. Look, it's an interesting name. I like to pick up some of these on this little downtrend that they've had. But this IPA, I want to quickly go over it because this is one of those like left for dead in the morning, like ramp up and then capitulation from 10 to 7 or 10 to 650. There's been like, I feel like there's 2 or 3 of these, and this one slipped the radar. But when it holds a level like that at the open, that's a break. Oh my, like that's a great breakout look at 740. Like you get that, hold the bottom, capitulation all the way, tries to take it out literally at 930, and then makes a nice little wedge here, and then breaks this level at 740. So great setup for the long. Although if it gets to 10, I mean, that's 10 even where it turned around 8 o'clock in the morning. I'd be looking for a 10 short. Certainly got to make sure I have locates on this name because you should always check that first. And it wasn't on my radar before. It 1,000,000% is on the radar now, especially at 10 even. It looks like liquidity could be an issue. Like if it broke 10, maybe it would halt. But I mean, that would be a hard stop at any rate. If I shorted in front of 10 even, I would never let it get through that price. That's for sure.
Right now, everything is all good as we just continue to watch the stocks go back and forth here. NVIDIA not doing anything. I did want to look at Ford because I think that Ford is a reasonable investment at these levels, but you know, it's just been coming down all day. I'm getting ready right now to pull the trigger on some Ford if we can get into like 13 and a quarter, something like that. We did sell some of our JPM and some of our NVIDIA the last couple days. We've talked about that in our long-term portfolio. So I don't mind picking up some Ford if you like some value there for sure. So Ford, we're going to pick up some of that here if it can drop a little bit longer. But one person that we cannot, guys, keep him waiting, and that is Brendan over there at the big board. Kind of mixed today, it looks like.
Yeah, very mixed, guys. Let's jump right into the S&P here. We'll have a look at what is leading the way. We are positive, so there's that. 0.13% overall for the market, but yeah, pretty mixed right across this entire board. A little real estate group here in the materials sector. The entire thing's both in negative territory. Worth noting here, energy stocks as well. We said back to the downside if you joined us in the pre-market. Oil under pressure again today. So all of these in the red. Consumer staples in the far corner there also among the lead decliners. Typical for a earnings period board. You're going to find a lot of individual names here standing out. Domino's we talked about early on this morning, still up almost 11%. They're having quite the day. In this group, though, otherwise, this is the consumer discretionary group. CMG, Starbucks back to the upside, had a bit of a choppy week as well. Yum Brands is here. Etsy, eBay, to name a few. Amazon, well, I haven't seen that one pop up 1% for a while. LB as well. That one's had quite the positive week. But LVS, all the travel names, really. The cruise lines are here. Hotels, all downside, so kind of offsetting any positivity coming from these earnings names. Financials as well in negative territory today. There are a few that did report, but overall, about 2% either way. So anything that's up is about 2.25%, 2%. Same story on the downside as well. CSX here in the transportation group, another one worth mentioning on the positive side. Right beside that, though, Love, Southwest, 2.5% to the downside. So again, pretty mixed board. 0.17 for the overall market, guys. Back over to you.
I got Neuro and my chart just froze, so I can't really show it to you on my 1 minute. It broke that 28 level, so you're gonna kind of see it here. It came right back above. I mean, I don't know, my trigger came a little bit late. So somehow I got it when it slammed back down, because it was a failed break like a million times. Like, it broke 28 and then goes right above and then slams back to the downside. So if you put your trigger above that 01 price, you actually got it on the way back in. If it can hold that low that it put in, like that was back at, it was like 26.5. If you want to go back to it here, of course, I showed it in the 1 minute, but it's kind of frozen. But as perspective, this was the breakout price for the morning. Gives it all back, holds a higher low from the free market action, and then you want to see if it can break back to the upside. So I don't want to give everything away on Neuro, but I said I liked it if it could hold these levels here, and I'm still doing that in and out like scalp trade on Moxie. I know it had 44s, now I got 43s, and I'm taking like, 5, 10 penny winners on a little bit, well, more like 10 cents on the first little bit, and trying to hold to 27, and I'll just get out if that level breaks. But we're immediately testing on Neuro that 26.50 area, so it feels like that was a failed break. I'm not averaging into the trade. I'm just going to give it the $1.50, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
All right. I mean, I haven't been able to get into too many other positions here. I don't really see anything that's too crazy. AMD is bouncing up against that 90 level again, which I normally would like, but I'm already in that NVIDIA trade, so more to come on that at some point, I guess. But for right now, oh, come on, AMD.NY, it's .NQ here. Oh, I can't even show you. Okay, that's the 1 day. Let's see if we can show you the minute chart here. Hopefully that's working. Okay, 89.70, 89 bottom. I mean, again, we tried to bottom pick NVIDIA today, and we're in that position. And that's funny because like NVIDIA is still at the bottom of its range, and AMD's all the way at the upside. You know what we can check out? We can check out Intel. Intel on report tonight. So this name again, if you're chasing, really, if you're chasing growth and things like that, then you're going to be in another name. But Intel does have some value propositions about it. That's still AMD's chart. Intel, you can see today on earnings. Wow, like AMD up, basically 1.5% different than Intel right now. AMD up 0.67 when Intel's down the same thing. Remember, they have a report coming in. Never a good thing, as there goes my chart as well on the daily. But 55, 56, 57. So we'll see, man. This should be a good trade tomorrow. I love trading Intel off earnings because we know we can get our shares in. Lots of volume, lots of opportunity. Hopefully coming tomorrow with Intel. So Cliffs down also that 4.5%. So that's looking pretty good. IPA up that 70%. So lots of runners today, lots of stuff happening. But right now it's time for our guest of the day with Brendan.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Greg McKee, Chairman and CEO of Trip Therapeutics, joining us from sunny California, Southern California. I hope it's sunny today, Greg. It's great to see you. Good to have you on the show to talk a little bit about some exciting news out yesterday involving Trip Therapeutics and the University of Michigan. Why don't you fill us in first off?
Happy to. Yeah, great to be here, Brendan. Yeah, it's a little bit overcast here in Southern California, but the weather should get better here shortly. But yeah, fantastic to see you today. Very excited about what's happening here at Trip Therapeutics. We just announced yesterday a brand new collaboration with the University of Michigan around creating a phase 2A clinical study in fibromyalgia with Dan Claw, PhD, who's one of the leading researchers in this space. We're very excited about the opportunity to work with him and his team in this therapeutic indication.
So TRYP, guys, if you want to check it out on the CSE, tickers are at the bottom. There's an OTC listing as well. So let's talk about this trial then, and maybe some of the goals and some of the things the company has in mind to come out of this study specifically.
Yes, so this is one of several phase 2A clinical trials that we plan to get started very soon. We'll be filing an investigational new drug application with the Food and Drug Administration shortly. We expect in the next, call it 60 days, both on fibromyalgia and also in another study in eating disorders. Both these studies are meant to be exploratory in nature to answer a lot of different questions we have about the utility of a psychedelic that we're working on, specifically psilocybin, in these disease areas. Both of them are small open label studies, so that means that we'll be following patients as they go along in the treatment regimens, and we're looking for a confirmatory positive read in terms of efficacy in these two really important unmet medical disease areas.
So it's common in this sector to, see companies mainly focusing on depression-related treatments, focused on, PTSD-related treatments. Trip has taken a little bit of a different approach here, focusing on the pain and pain management side of things. Tell the viewers a little bit, first off, why that approach was taken, and what Trip specifically sees as the opportunity here.
Right. So we didn't think there was a lot of value to be, call it the 10th, the 12th, the 15th company working in depression or PTSD. Of course, we're incredibly optimistic and cheering on the sidelines for the rest of the companies in the sector that are doing that. We hope that they're very successful. What we see based on our own research and based on the research of academics at a number of different institutions that we're working with is an opportunity to use a psychedelic where there's very specifically a central nervous system or a mental challenge in terms of the pain. So in many of these disease areas, there's no physical addressable pain issue. It's all around a feedback loop in the mind that needs to be changed. And we see a number of different things. First of all these areas are highly unmet in terms of there's a lack of really good therapeutic treatments in these areas. Second of all, we feel that there's a very strong scientific rationale for the use of a psychedelic in these areas. So we're in chronic pain, we're targeting specifically fibromyalgia, phantom limb pain, and complex regional pain syndromes, all diseases that are in dire need of new therapeutic alternatives. And in the eating disorder space, we've got a similar theory that there's a number of different addictive-like behaviors that are going on that need to be changed. And we believe that we've got a very strong possibility to see activity with our therapeutic compound in that area as well.
And let's talk a little bit maybe from a broader perspective here, Greg, because it's an interesting idea and an interesting concept. And it's interesting, I think, from an investor standpoint that you're not seeing more and more companies kind of moving away from the traditional approaches in the psychedelic space. So where does the company see itself kind of fitting in, I guess, as a whole when it comes to the sector?
Right. So separate from the fact that many of the other companies in the arena are working in depression, working in addiction, a little bit in anxiety. There's very few companies that are working in chronic pain or in eating disorders, for one. Second of all, there are very few companies that are actually in human clinical studies. We anticipate filing at least 2 and potentially more INDs, up to 4 possibly this year. And we also anticipating dosing our first patients. So that will put us in pretty rarefied air quickly, in that there's only a handful of companies that are actually even in phase 2A clinical studies. So we believe that we're going to catch up to some of the other significant, more highly valued companies relatively quickly. And are pretty excited about the opportunity, both in terms of helping patients, but also, frankly, in terms of being a very successful story for our investors.
And for those unfamiliar, phase 2 obviously means, there's something there. There's something, worth investigating further, worth taking to the next level. Talk a little bit about what is expected to come out of that. Maybe give us a little bit of a timeline, if there is one, as far as this 2A study is concerned. And I think the obvious next question, is really, where do we go from here? What's next for Trip Therapeutics?
Right. So these studies are meant to give us a confirmatory outcome in terms of efficacy, right, in human beings, as I mentioned before. The main body of work that we'll be working on and what we are commercializing is a novel formulation and a novel route of administration, right? So a different way to deliver the drug to humans that we think will be more efficacious and potentially have a better safety profile. So the next steps for us are really two major milestone and steps along the way. One is to run these phase 2A clinical studies to get these reads. Second of all is to complete the body of work that will allow us to take our novel formulation into later stage clinical studies. We anticipate getting data from the first 2A studies, at least in terms of a preliminary readout, probably 6 to 12 months from now. There are open label, as it's called, so that means we'll be following and tracking company individuals along the way as they're being treated. And then the next big step for us will be to initiate the phase 2B, the larger controlled studies with our novel formulation sometime in the second half of next year.
Greg McKee, Chairman and CEO of Trip Therapeutics. Big news yesterday surrounding Trip and the University of Michigan collaboration to further their study work. An absolute pleasure to talk to you today, Greg. Thanks for doing this. And we'll look forward
to be here, Brendan. Thanks so much.
We'll look forward to an update in the future. Greg, good to speak to you.
Thank you.
There we go, guys. Trip Therapeutics. Again, the ticker's at the bottom there. TRYP, CSE, TRYPF on the OTC markets, guys.
Thanks a lot, Brendan, for another good interview. University of Michigan, actually one of literally the only school that I ran track at a meet there. Gorgeous, gorgeous facility. Although I have to admit, I am a Michigan State fan. Go Spartans. Everyone's looking at this IPA. Yeah, 100%. I can tell you, I think we mentioned this before. Like, we have names that do very, very low volume. Usually that'll be restricted in our system for risk purposes, and we have to request to get them unblocked. That was the case with IPA. So, I couldn't take that 10 break, even if I wanted to. We've got the request in to see if we can be able to trade this. I'm sure it'll happen in the next couple of minutes, but monster breakout at that 10 level pre-market. This was one, we talked about how this one's set up here. Off of that pullback, faded and forgotten about all morning long, and then you're gonna see it finally makes that wedge, breaks out once, wedge, then breaks out twice, and then you get that 10 even break, which takes you right to 11.11. I mean, I don't know. Like, this doesn't stand out on the daily chart. I mean, I guess if it ever got to like 14, I'll go over here. If it ever got to 14, that'd be something worth watching. I think almost 100%. So there you go, IPA, big time runner. Another one of these. Oh no, it's not in the 100% club. Check that. 11.11, that's not a random number. That is basically right in front of a double up, because that would be 11.16 if my math is correct, and I'm pretty sure it is. So yeah, there you go. That wasn't a random turnaround when it went on the 10 even break. 100% up from yesterday's close. Sometimes these random things make sense to someone out there who decided to sell for exactly 100%. Look, I mean, I think if it goes to that 14 level, I think that's an interesting place for a short. But first, you got to get it unrestricted, and then got to get the locates on this one. Be careful shorting any of these. It hasn't halted yet, but certainly it has a profile of one that could.
I just wanted to, once again, guys, thank you for watching. Great interview by Brendan there, Trip Therapeutics. So again, in the pre-market, when we got this DD trade, I told you it was my largest, pre-market position, and that I had, a decent amount of shares, and that we really, really like this trade. So we're still holding on to a piece right now as it's back to its day low. So, I mean, I think that this DD trade just turned out, better than we even thought, to be honest with you here as, oh yeah, that's right, my day chart there. I was watching the interview and I didn't even refresh my chart. Okay, so there's that play. Oh, I did want to look at Virgin again because, or not again, maybe for the first time today. We actually haven't looked at this one. Back down to 31.50 off of a huge move downside, and then a huge 34 level there on space as well. If you look at a 20-minute chart here, we'll see what we're talking about. Look at this, like 30, I mean, whether or not it's 34, 34.20, you have it here, and then we had it yesterday as well at 34, and then this morning in the pre-market we had 34. So you could see here on a 20-minute chart what Virgin Galactic looks like, and it's not pretty to the downside. However, good news alert though, this 30 has held during, it could have easily broke here and retested some of these 28 level, this 28 level. We're only a few days away. Like, we were already down here in the pre-market that one day, and then we got giddy up. Was this the Bezos launch day, the 19th? Yeah, I believe it was. So, or was that this day? It doesn't matter. Either ways, nice moves upside, and now today we're going to give back the last 3 days of positivity, and then probably retest this 30 level. So I think that if you're looking to get into some Virgin Galactic, this is probably a decent spot right here, 30, and then you could see if it holds. And then, if we break down through this 28, then I would say look out below. I mean, this stock was just minutes ago, when we can get to it, was into the teens, guys. This is a 20-minute chart, so it was way long ago. We were into the teens there on this one. I have to look up a daily chart for you. But that's Virgin Galactic right now, so just watch out. We're down that 5+% right now on this name, and I would say it's a buy at 30, and no sooner, unless you really want to put just a small piece in and take a shot here. But I think a real executable level is like around that 25, 26, where you can get comfortable with it.
Absolutely, and I just want to show this because I did mention this Moxie, and we show you guys like different strategies, and this is a very, very unique one. So I was short all over this thing at like 43, 44. I was able to get some out for a winner. And then look, remember I said it's not about having a stop order, it's about getting out literally at that 45. That monster offer just got taken out, that million shares on Moxie. I mean, I didn't go long because every time it's just broken one of these before, this is what, like, it goes to the upside and then slams back down as a pretty good short. So I'm kind of looking at this here, like 28.50. I'm going to see if I can get a quick short because I've seen that pattern before. I'm going to try and get in off that. That's the only reason I didn't go long. Clearly, it would have been a good long. Brendan, we got some earnings to get to.
Indeed, yeah, it is big earnings day. Some exciting ones to come after market tonight and also before the open tomorrow. Also, come back this afternoon, guys, and we'll talk about these and more, I'm sure, this afternoon.
Look at the names. I mean, I'm a big, huge American Express fan. So if they miss, I'm buying on that one. Twitter, I don't know. I mean, I'm a decent shareholder right now in Twitter, but a little nervous about that one. We've talked about Twitter and Snapchat. And then Intel, I mean, we'll see. I'm much more concerned about NVIDIA. I don't even own Intel, but much more concerned about NVIDIA and AMD. So hopefully that'll be the bellwether for those guys.
Yeah, I mean, Intel is the kind of stock for me that I'll look at it next year. To be perfectly honest, and that's the way you got to look. I actually think it'll be more interesting for like, I mean, Shaz already said this, NVIDIA and AMD. Like if Intel actually does a really good report, I like it for the foundry play long term. That's going to take them a few years to execute. But you know, I'll get to Moxie in a quick second. It's a nice trade, and I'll explain why this was I put this short on. But if Intel actually does really well and it has shown some strength, I think the entire sector might be just the most obvious long, at least for tomorrow as a day trade. I said I get to it, so before we get to the what day it is here today, it's a fantastic one. Shout out to Antigua, by the way. This is what happened when these levels broke, and this is a monster seller on Moxie. It basically popped up right into this level here from the pre-market, from the open, and then failed in front of it and was a short the rest of the day. So when I see that same level break again, instead of going long, I'm immediately thinking to myself, fail in front of the high, 28.50, put a stop 28.50, just short 28.35, I got 34, it's not 35, immediately down to 28, and I'm gonna park a bid in front of this 27.50, because I kind of feel like if it breaks this price again, you might get the same thing happen, like a bit of a check up and then just get back into the shorts. So, I mean, it's not, we get the question like, do you guys use indicators or whatnot? The only reason I don't is because I find there's so many strategies just simply around these like breakouts and key levels that work. So as long as they do, I want to leverage them. And that's what we saw here in Moxie today. It's not my number one stock of the day, but it's kind of going to be up there and only based on a very, very simple trade. Like one, literally short in front of 27.45. And then two, when it breaks, just go right back and see what happened the last time it broke. An easy, simple trade there. Now we get to see what national day it is. Oh, it's a tasty one. This is a great day.
Thank you, Neil. And hey guys, thank you for joining us again. I hope you have a great day so far and we'll have a great rest of the day. Come join us back at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time to trade the close together, and happy National Mango Day.
I mean, you could join us at 4. We may not be here at 4, but 3:15 works for me. That mango juice looks awfully sweet and, you know, tasty, needless to say, Neil.
Mango ice cream, mango juice, mango in a fruit salad, but the best way to have it, and trust me, if you've never been to the Caribbean, go when it's in season, find anybody that's selling them on the road and just grab one on a hot day and just boom. Like you literally suck it out of the skin. There is no better way to consume a mango than that. It's messy, yes, but hey man, when the beach is like a couple of minutes away, just wash yourself off on the beach. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. I can't wait to go back to Antigua at some point. My favorite island, obviously, family's from there. But you can't go wrong with mango. You can't go wrong coming back at 3:15 because it was a lot of fun yesterday. And man, there's all these movers. The 100% club just continues to grow every single day. So, you know, we're going to be all over those names here. You got that IPA going crazy. You got Neuro going crazy. You got WISA, DD. I mean, I don't know. There's more names than I can even count that we have to keep track of today. And we're trying to give you everything that we can and all of those names so that you can trade what is moving, because the market is flat, although it is green, and Ms. V is wearing green. So for the entire team, and right down the line for Valeria, for my man Brennan, again, fantastic interview for myself, Neil Roberts, and Sean Katina. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. See you at the close. Bye, guys.